Yelling, Lord, we thank you for all that you do. And Lord, we ask you for that rain to come. We know it's coming this way. Lord, we do lift up Dickie's brother Steve for that fire, and we know that he's been suffering. But and then they got heartbreak for losing the house place. But Father, you're a good God, and He's still living. And now we just ask you to be with us, guide us, and we ask for your wisdom through Jesus Christ. We pray. Amen.
Amen. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you all for that. Board members, I need a motion to approve the agenda for tonight. Or is there anything to add, Mr. Bowen?
No, sir, not this time.
You'll make a motion? All right. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right, we're going to take right off, but just one point of note here. Y'all don't be looking at my legs and my shorts, okay? I know Steve can't help himself over here.
I never looked up to Steve. I hope you didn't.
All right, let's take off. Mr. Billy Ray Thompson on the historical marker, the Elegram Agnew. There he is.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Don't come on to the table.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening, Board of Supervisor members and administrator and everybody else that I don't know. Thank you for allowing me to appear before you this evening. I want to talk about the Elegram Agnew historical marker. I'm asking that the Nottoway Board of Supervisors approve the move of the Elegram historical marker to the town of Burkeville. I'm asking you to support and allow the marker to be moved. It would be a great historical relevance to the town of Burkeville than where it sits now. The Elegram Agnew marker currently is located generally between Hooper Park, well, it's not Crew Boutique now, but whatever the motel is now called, on West Colonial Trail Highway. And I've enclosed a picture of the marker. And as you'll see that it's down at the bottom, it says Nottoway County Board of Supervisors. And I was interested in getting this moved.
Ms. Thompson, so you'll know it's on the screen too. We put, and just so you know that.
Oh, sure.
Okay, Mr. Thompson, just a quick question,
Yes.
boy, just so we can clarify this. All right,
Yes.
that is now in the town of Crew's limits.
Now it is in the town of Crew. When I first started working on this, it was not.
Right.
But still, as we go on, I will tell you why it's important to be in Burkeville. Elegram Agnew was born in Prince Edward County, but her family soon moved to the town of Burkeville after the house burned. She is from Burkeville and buried in a Burkeville Sunset Cemetery, a Sunset Hill Cemetery. The town has a street, Agnew Street, named after her in her honor, and the marker itself mentions that she is buried close by, and she would be much closer by if the sign was in Burkeville. You know, it may have had a purpose at one point for being there, but we would like to have it moved to Burkeville to use it as a historical purpose. And we're not asking for the county to pay to have it moved. You know, we'll even coordinate with the VDOT to have it moved.
Do you have a location selected?
It's still going to be along 460, where it's, you know, visibly, it'll probably up close to
The intersection there,
well,
Nottoway Road. and
well,
460.
we've got two positions, either up there by Luckstone or down by the tractors. And I contacted Miss Jennifer Locks, which is the second page of your little handout there, and asked her about getting it moved and told her about it. And she said, "Look, it's not ours; it belongs to the county." So that's why I've appeared before you now to ask her to have it moved. And
It's in the VDOT right of way, or they have to approve where you put it?
well, that's something to be worked out. You know, I would definitely get hold of their local VDOT point of contact, and I assume that we would work together to try and get that moved.
Yes, you just filling to see if you can get this first before you go through all that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
okay, that makes sense.
that's why I want to get approval to move it, and then we'll go through the right steps to get it moved.
Dickie, that's your district,
Well, listen,
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly. This lady, if you have a copy of Old Homes and Families in Nottoway, she's in there, and they describe her upbringing in Burkeville. They also describe her going to South Africa and meeting Winston Churchill.
Okay.
It's all, the story is all in there. So, yeah, she's definitely a Burkeville person. Now, I think her family lived in, that house right as you come off, like you're going down to the registrar's office on the left, it sits back off the road, that's the old admin place.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm definitely in favor of it being moved, and, you know, I don't understand why it was put there unless it's because Mr. Sandy's sign is there also.
That's what my understanding is. I was gonna say, I thought I had that up there, that the Sandy
T.O. Sandy, yeah.
actually hired
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Ellie, if you do your history on that, actually, there you go, there it is. T.O. Sandy, it is
Yeah.
about 10, 20 feet from that.
Yeah,
All right, so
Yeah.
the town of Burkle would be doing the cost for the, removal and.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'll be in favor.
I think Mr. Sandy's place is where Jack Baldwin.
Mr. Chairman, I would ask for the town of Burkeville to vote on that, to make sure that they are supporting that.
The town has voted on it, and I'm not cut you off.
No, no, I-
We visited last Tuesday, just make sure the council was still in favor
Okay.
from a year ago, and they are still.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll be in.
It's, I mean, it's our sign, but it's all crew ground now. Does crew care?
I don't know, it's on the VDOT right away.
So it's in the it's in the VDOT right away?
It's right up next to the highway, next to the Sandy one there,
Right, so it's in the VDOT right now.
and it belongs to the board of supervisors.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Well, we can do it next.
Oh, next time, okay.
Yeah,
That's right,
I just
think
asked you to
work
take
session.
it up during the meeting where you can vote on it.
Well, before you leave, unless
Yeah,
something comes up, I mean, if the board can give you a consensus, I mean, I'd be in favor.
Yeah.
So
I'd
just,
definitely vote.
just I want to make sure I got something, Mr. Douglas, I'm glad you're here. If the sign is, I know it's in VDOT right away, we own the sign, but it's in the town of Crew, do we have authority to say we can move that sign?
I think if you own the sign, yes.
Okay.
If I don't think crew has any rights to the sign.
Okay.
That without doing
Gotcha.
research on it. That's what I was saying.
We have somebody we can ask.
Right.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go, Mr. Thompson, unless anything crazy happens, you know, y'all have some work to do here shortly.
So do you think that, what's the process now? Y'all bring it up? at the
Thursday night meeting, it'll be on the agenda, we'll
One
take a
week.
formal vote.
All right, I
Absolutely.
appreciate your time and your thorough questions.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Have a good one.
continue to do good things.
Yes, sir. All right, Mr. Bowen and Mr. Norwick on the, airport side.
So, should be another picture of that up there. Today go. So, I'll let Philip, I think Philip had a lot of conversation with the colonel. This is what initiated, that's one of his projects. And so what we're doing is looking for an easement to vote on.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a real helicopter though. I mean, in the future, that's the one that the colonel was talking about.
The
bringing out
helicopter
there.
is not already here. It will be here shortly.
Mhm.
It is a real helicopter that came from, I believe, Aberdeen Proving Ground
Right.
in Maryland, or Fort Meade or something like that in Maryland. And the helicopter will be delivered. This was really something that was brought to us originally in the drawing, and the concept was prepared by the post command.
Yeah.
And it gives a couple of options. One of the issues that came up when we were discussing, we'd like to put the sign up, and Post obviously would like to have the sign, is that I think real estate can be a little tricky with those folks out there, the Corps of Engineers and USPS BFO officer, if I've got that acronym correct. And their recommendation was, well, is there any way the town could get the easement from the county so we don't have to involve kind of Byzantine
Right.
bureaucracies that they may have to deal with? And so the idea came up during that meeting, maybe the town can just get the easement. That's really the reason we're in here. The town's proposing is simply to assist them so they don't have to go through so many channels.
Well, board members too,
And we own the airport.
yeah, Bill and I was out there at that meeting, and that's the same meeting where this issue came up here, and which I'm all in favor for this too. The colonel was more than receptive to, if we ever do anything on the western end of the county, 364-60 interchange, as far as putting military equipment out there as well, to help draw, you know, more attention to that.
I don't know how hard it was to get a helicopter, but they got them a
They got it.
helicopter. And so once we can get the easement resolved, and I think you guys have reviewed it, our guy Julian Harp wrote it, and I think Gary's office has taken a look at it. And I think what was given to you is the result of those revisions.
Right, all I need is to get the authority from you Thursday night.
I'm good with it.
So that'll be on the agenda. I'm happy with it. It's gonna be neat.
And so once that can happen, it is eligible for grant funding from the Department of Aviation. The Guard wouldn't have been eligible to get that, but we are eligible, and that was part also of the discussion. And it's my expectation that the town of Blackstone would then make application for Department of Aviation to pay for at least the sign and perhaps the foundation for the helicopter.
Daphne, vote, y'all.
I'm in favor for it.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right, it'll be on the agenda.
Yeah, we'll give you the authority next week. All right. The zoning updates, Mr. Zoe.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to talk to y'all, I spoke to Mr. Circle today, regarding the Butterwood Trail and the Dominic Corner 8-acre piece. I pointed out to him that the Dominic Corner site is general business, and that's what he's gonna do there, and he said he was gonna ask him if he's going to be harvesting his product and storing it there. I said, we might wanna consider going to industrial on that 8 acres, because we don't have any provisions in our ordinance for that. So I wanted to let y'all know what my thinking was with this. We'll still have that 2 acres to the north of it, that's on general business. And that I approved that plat, June 20th of this year, that Jeff developed.
Believe it or not, I've got a plat of it. It's been right here if anybody wants to look at it. I don't know.
You got my office or something, or what?
No, Jeff LaBelle used the same plat to do the easement thing for the sign, so it's kind of skunk on that. If anybody wants to look at that.
But I just didn't know where the board was with that, because the way with his existing facility on Butterwood Trail, I wrote a letter to give him ag exemption, because that is an ag use.
That's the storage of the switchgrass.
That's right, and and I'm defining that use as manufacturing and processing. That's why, and I've continued with that call, given our definition of manufacturing and processing.
Well, we're still, it needs to be zone profits.
Right, and I think, we just want to be clean and thinking in the future, if something's to go sideways with this business, God forbid, I think it'd be nice that we have an industrial zone parcel. So I just want to get y'all's okay on that. The last zoning update I had was more of a question.
Greg, hold on that first item. Y'all good on the first item?
Sorry, I just. One of the things I've had a lot of calls on is regarding what Mr. Collins and I spoke about earlier about a water line issue. Was I've had folks from 3 sections of the county along 360, along parts of 460, kind of central part of the county, and then along Cox Road. I spoke to a Mrs. Epps yesterday, and she was not very happy that it's zoned general business. I'm not suggesting a mass rezoning. The reason why she was upset was that she can't put a new house.
All right, is this the Cox Road that goes down by Wilman's Grocery and all that?
That's the one that's near Williamson's
Yeah.
construction
All
supply.
right, weren't y'all planning on doing something in
Where's
that?
that?
But
Miss Wilbur, funeral home.
yeah, she's at 2127 Cox Road,
Right there at the funeral home.
right in that general area. But my issue is with all these sites throughout the county in pink, we have a large swath of general business, but we also have a large swath of residential structure.
Well, you go down there,
And according to our code as it's written, you can't put a house on that, right? So I've made a provision though with the revision of our zoning ordinance that would allow people, if the existing home is destroyed, that they can rebuild it. As it stands now, our zoning ordinance doesn't cover that.
Is Miss F speaking of an existing home that's,
Well, she doesn't want, I asked her, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to put another home? She was thinking of maybe giving something to her daughter. I said, well, right now you can't do that. Single family homes aren't permitted.
we've got it down there through Dalton territory too. And adult storage.
Right.
That's all general business.
And then we also have it along 360 as well. And I get a lot of calls from folks and people coming in for building permits for a house.
Well,
And the
the
only way
reason
I-
the previous boards did that is because that is more of a business corridor.
Right.
They thought it was going to be anyway.
But I'm not asking to do any rezones. I'm asking to allow, for existing homes or somebody who wanted to put a home. That's all.
for existing homes? I heard you say for existing homes or if somebody.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking for
So
guidance
the
from
property
y'all.
right now, it's 5 acres like the county, and how many is it within a mile of town of Blackstone?
On the north side, it's conservation residential, which is half of it's going to be, more than likely, half of it's going to be general business, because it looks like somebody just put a 500-foot swath on either side. Some places it's a little bit deeper for general business. Then right behind it, it's rural residential. We have Blackstone Rentals, I think it was, back when you're here, Phil, and they did a rezone to take it out of general business because they want to put in rural residential so they could sell it, because you can't, I think it's.
So what's the acreage requirement for the rural residential?
Rural residential is 1 acre, and if you're adjacent to a locality, it basically changes itself. If you have access to water and sewer, it goes down to a half an acre.
Do you know what you said Ms. F's address, where is she located at?
2127.
Where would that be?
Cox
to the-
Road.
Where would that be? to
I
the
did make
rural
a
residential?
map.
Oh.
She's in this area that's just a solid block of general business. So this is an issue that's coming up.
Well, there's another issue, and it goes with financing the property. So you do not have access to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac mortgages if you're buying a residence in the general business zone, because you can't build it back. So the collateral would go away, the bank would no longer be able to do it.
It wouldn't fall under no grandfather clause, did? You know, you
That's-
said you can't build.
So
it
that's
back.
what he's, if it's written into the ordinance,
Yeah.
then yes. But if it's
But if it's
just,
not, you can't?
you can't.
I thought it would automatically be grandfather.
No, sir. The state gives the state enabling legislation for vesting rights. They changed the name. It used to be called just pre-existing non-conformity. They changed it to vesting rights, and we have the option of allowing something that's not zoned correctly. I'm being very simple here, to say, okay, if the act of God, for better term, fire or whatever, destroys the existing structure, you can build it back. And I think the path would be doing an administrator's determination, which I would do, and send notices out to all the property owners and everything. And what I've done in the
Would they
past-
have to build it back in the same footprint, or can they make it?
that's the thing. I've taken some liberties with that, because some people say, no, it's probably too close to the property line right now. So we want to have a conforming lot, or bring any structure closer to conformity.
I see you thinking.
I
I would say a good
Has-
attorney could answer that
Well,
probably.
I mean, I'm not super well versed in state code on that, but I think if it like there's an act of God, like you're talking about, I think it has to be built back to the specific
The footprint.
footprint, and then basically the state code says if anything, like if you resell it or something else or something additional happens, then it's not in compliance. There's no grandfather. The
And that's-
right's not vested anymore because a new owner takes it.
Because I can't tell people, yeah, you can go ahead and just tear it down or anything, because there's no provisions for that right now. Especially since we don't have that codicil, I guess for lack of a better term, in our ordinance that allows it to be rebuilt.
What's your
Technically,
suggestion here then?
What I'm suggesting is, I don't want to do any rezonings. I just don't know how much leeway we want to incorporate, if we want to incorporate any in our zoning ordinance, or if we just want to go ahead with what I propose to be the revision for that particular section of the zoning ordinance.
Should we take this on a case-by-case basis?
Yeah, I personally, if somebody wants to sell it or something, or rebuild the home, right now, they would just have to, or put a new home on there, they would have to come in for a rezone. So do we want to have them go
So
through
you want
that?
the ordinance to state that an existing structure, an existing use, if destroyed, may be built back
Yes.
Within the same
under
footprint.
under this existing law. That's all you're asking.
Yes, because I've been mulling it over for a while, and that's why I'm basically asking two things. Is we have this issue of general business zoning. Do we want to disrupt the intent of the general business?
Well, you gotta think the previous boards, the intent was to have business corridors.
That's right.
And the way that you get a business corridor is over time, the use changes to business. Those houses go away, they get torn down, something happens, and then it's available for business. Have we seen enough business come into those locations to say that that process is working?
Good point. Not that I'm aware of.
So that's-
Short time I've been here.
So, but in that ordinance, would that ordinance also state that if it changes owner's hands, they lose that?
It runs with the land. I would say it runs with the land. I mean, would that be correct?
You
Yeah.
mean the same owner?
You know, the different owner, but the same use footprint.
That's what I'm not sure about. I think it would be the opposite,
Okay.
but I would need to double check
I did
the
that.
state code.
That's why I didn't go law school.
Well, I mean, I would need to double check because technically it would be like a new use. So, I mean, it could go, it depends, because if an owner comes in, it might run with the land. If they come in, they buy it, and they don't make any improvements to it or additions, which I feel like would very rarely happen, where it would run with the land, but then I would hate to say one way or
We
the
can have
other.
that
because I
discussion.
wanna-
So we understand what your intent is. So then the board has to decide if we're abandoning general business, the intent of the previous boards. And then we have, Catherine's going to figure out exactly.
And I'll be happy to work with that.
Yeah, if y'all put that together, we'll throw it
Okay.
on the next work session or the following one, whatever y'all need.
Okay,
We'll
thank
do this
you.
meeting.
I just wanted, I don't want to catch all those when I bring the final revision.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Bowen, the dispatching position.
All right, so we change the screen now if we could. So the ad hoc committee has met with the sheriff and some of the emergency services leaders. One of the things that we're talking to the sheriff, we in having conversations, and I'll get Bo to correct me, and the sheriff is in here as well. One of the things that hinders the training is the sheriff does not have, you gotta have all 12, you gotta have the shifts covered. And how do you take 2 or 3 people out of that to give them training instead of on the job training? And I apologize, Mr. Chairman, you were in that meeting too. So what he's requesting, and I think the ad hoc committee agrees with the sheriff, is that those positions that you see what you had voted on to freeze because of the budget problems we're having, is to unfreeze the central dispatching, the two positions, the 42,000 and 45,000, 42 some odd dollars, 45,000 and some odd dollars. He's requesting to unfreeze that, and so he can hire. And those positions are still it's built in the budget, it's just frozen.
Mhm.
And I'll leave, maybe Bo or Sheriff can speak up if they got anything else on you.
You said the dispatching, central dispatch and dispatch 42,101.68, is that what you referring to?
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
then one
And
more.
and then the one right below.
Which is 45,490.
Right, yeah.
And where was the figure of $30,000 even coming up for dispatching when we discussed it?
I didn't have it in front of us. We just was throwing out numbers. We didn't have that in front of us.
Damn, it should have
More-
been also
more than
15
what-
and
more than-
$12,000.
Right, more than we thought.
Whole lot more.
Right,
Which
already
makes
in
you
the
look a whole
budget.
lot more attractive for a job.
Mhm.
But does this salary include fringes?
Yeah, that's what I was just getting ready to clear up. It does include benefits.
Yes.
That's what that total
saying
This
number.
total includes
Well,
benefits.
So if you use a 30 plus all the fringes
That-
and benefits.
okay,
that's
that might be
what
right.
this is.
But, what you, and of course, you can't vote on tonight, but if you want to put it on the agenda, you want to think about it, I'm going to put it on the agenda, then you have discussion between that, I'll just leave it up to the board.
Just me personally, Mr. Tubbs, share his thoughts as well, but just me personally, I don't see the need of waiting.
Oh, I think it's overdue. If that's what in fact holding back the help at the dispatch position, then we need to go ahead and have it for, next Thursday.
I totally agree. And
I would also like to say that the plan for training needs to be shared with the board so that we know that freeing up this money will result in training time for those dispatchers, because this is becoming a problem and we need to resolve it. And so let's move forward, but let's see a plan. Let's just not release the money.
All right, and to your point there, the sheriff and Buddy is both working on,
And they're
short
working-
term.
So they're working together.
Yes, sir.
And utilizing this room for the training. right?
Sheriff, when you
Right.
advertise that position, what amount of money, pay salary do you advertise? This amount?
Well, we still got a little thinking and talking to do, because I know I talked to y'all the other night and y'all were saying basically use one position for training and one. So I gotta figure out what I can do and how I can do.
But generally
We
speaking, when
talked
you
about it.
advertise for a dispatching position, what is the salary advertised at? Roughly, you probably won't be able to. get it
Yeah, I
out
was gonna
there.
say probably around 30 something.
So is it using the benefits, the fringe benefits included in that?
Now,
Well, it was
we have to have that number in the budget, because that's the total amount spent.
Right, and that's what the dispatcher's getting, because they get the
Yeah,
benefits.
to get benefits.
But if I was flipping through the paper looking for a job and I saw 45,000 versus 32,000, I'd be more apt to call it 45,000.
But they're not
They
knowing.
don't
But
get
if
it.
you do that first check and you realize.
But they are getting it because it's for their benefits.
But the typical job, I'm working in this for years, you don't advertise your total fringe package. You give it to them after the interview, but but your actual salary is gonna be the 30,000 plus all these benefits.
And you
get.
really can't tell, because some of them might come in here with a family
Yes.
and the insurance will be way up there.
It depends on the coverage
Just-
or
Yeah,
insurance.
just.
Or they may, or their spouse may already have coverage, they don't need it.
All right, and one other
They
thing,
might not be in the retirement system.
one other thing to your point, Mr. Collins, the salary savings that they already have for the first 2 months of this year may be enough to cover the trainer. So that's what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's
There
what
may
we-
be some difference there. He may be able
So
to.
one of these positions would be a trainer, or the trainer would be part of the department.
Well, no, he may be bringing in a trainer as needed. As needed.
Out of
There's
the, out of the department, or?
out of that salary savings to start with.
Well, I think we're just talking about the trainer, it's possibly, I'm sorry,
First, this person.
Yeah.
is what I'm-
like stipend someone's pay, we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We've been talking, basically, the initial plan is we're gonna give it to 4, 5 chiefs. Basically meet and buddy, give it to 5 chiefs, sit down and figure out what we need, what we
What our
want.
goals are.
Yeah, what we need, what we want. And at that point, we'll figure out who we can get in here to train these folks.
So it may come out of one of the fire stations. So it could be anybody that comes to help train
Well,
on dispatch,
so it's gonna have to be somebody with dispatch related.
that's familiar with.
Yeah,
Qualified.
I mean, with dispatch qualified.
And the way I understand it too, when we hire, if we do hire, bring in a trainer, emergency service will be part of that decision making.
Exactly.
Hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, great, good
That's where
news.
we at right now.
That's good news.
All right, so I'm gonna have that on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, the convenience center hours, Mr. Collins.
All right, this was just my neighbor texted me and asked me if I could look at this as a problem. So, yep, so our working folks that leave here, go to work and get home, the centers aren't open. So if you leave at 7 o'clock in the morning and you get home at 6:30 at night, you couldn't take your trash. And so there was some discussion, and they would like to see an early open, like a 7 a.m. Whether it's every morning or just one morning, do it on a Wednesday morning. I know that, seems like some time ago, did they switch winter hours and summer hours, or?
They
You
used
remember,
to,
John?
yeah, they did, they used to, and then we also tried,
What's been tried?
in 2020, they tried 7 to 7 on Wednesday and Saturday. And what they were doing is they were keeping account of the number of people that was actually using the facilities at every location.
Mhm.
And I'm sure Steve remembers as well too. I lobbied for 7, 7, and 7, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. The number of people coming in on those different hours from 7 a.m. to like when they open at 8:30 never justified.
The extra time?
That's right. And so when, and that, the landfill guys did that. I mean, the landfill guys, they did it with the direction of the board and the administrator to amp up with the number of people that came in, they clocked it. It was very well kept, and literally I didn't have an argument.
So it was documented,
Yeah.
and the data didn't support.
Yes, did not support the additional hours and the salaries. I mean, for the cost and the hours and stuff, but
I got Justin Mims here today too, and because Gary can't make it, but we will talk a little bit about Justin's over there on the side. He is the other licensed operator we do have. It's like I met with him and Gary last week. Might not, it was this week already. Justin, it was like 16 convenience center employees, right? We counted. They can't work with so many hours. I mean,
Most of them are part-time.
most of them are part-time, I got you. So if we expand the hours, I'm sure, I don't know how we would have to expand somehow that as well.
Maybe half a day each, 2 people working.
To half a day.
What if you just, so what is the busiest convenience? The one down there by Walmart?
723.
723.
Mine,
723 and 46?
Yep.
So what if you looked at both of those for a 7 a.m. opening, one day a week or 2 days a week? Or should you do it every day?
well, what I was thinking, so if people are creatures of nature, okay, so they see this, they know when to work. They need, as I understand it, and I didn't at first, and I'll be honest, in 2020, I did not understand it at first, but they need that Tuesday and that Thursday to operate those containers and stuff that move. That is generating some revenue for the county.
Right.
All right, so
So they're doing other tasks, our folks are working.
yes, that's right, including maintenance and stuff at the
Right.
location. So I mean, because if you look at that on Wednesday and Saturday, if we did it on Wednesday and Saturday, that'd give you a weekend day in the middle of the weekday, I'd still be in favor of leaving those at 7 to 7. The other thing I would like to see happen is to stop the daylight saving time.
And just leave.
Yeah, just,
What have we got lights at every place?
yeah,
Wondered that.
I think, yeah,
Lights at
yeah.
every-
What about if we consider closing one day, another day entirely and opening up early and staying open later and still getting our total number of hours that we got here? Because I don't use it to start with, none of them, because we got a dump bar.
Right.
But if I look at that right there, unless I got that on the door jamb coming out the house or in my windshield and my
It's
pickup,
difficult to remember.
you better believe it is. And many
I
times you
got
run
a,
down
I got
there.
a picture of it on my phone. So I
Yeah.
Right, and
I got it.
everybody's gotta have some sort of, I would suggest us at least talking about closing another day and staying open 12-hour days on all the same. Then they'll say, okay, it's closed on this day, but this day is
Right,
12
so
hours.
what
7
about-
to 7, the other. 4 days.
Amelia's closed on Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, 7 to 7 in the morning. Tuesday, 3 to 7, Thursday, 3 to 7, 7 to 7 on one day, and Friday, 10 to 7.
Well, I tell you what, Sunday to me, that's God's day. I got my own store closed. I don't mean, everybody can use a little bit more God in life right now.
Everybody could, but I told somebody too, a lot of folks go to the garbage containers after they come back to church.
I know.
The ones that don't go to church, maybe go before church,
Yeah.
go on the way to church.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you do have Saturday that gives you one of the weekend days. And I think you do need 4 days at minimum.
What about 4 days and leave them open 12-hour days and shut it 3 days?
Sorry to cut y'all off. If I'm not mistaken, I think the board already passed this time to be permanent. It doesn't change with daylight savings.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so
what-
daylight savings is done.
Yeah, I think that's why I
So
said
this
year-round
discussion is
hours.
Just about
Okay,
opening and
sorry.
closing time.
Yeah.
Hey, let's look at through, Justin, come on to the table too, if you would, and I appreciate you coming tonight. And, we'll get on Gary later on by taking off. But, so, let's look through your lenses. What, if you expand out times too much, how does that affect your drivers?
So if you open up before 8, you have no drivers, no landfill employees at all. And if you open past 4:30, you have no drivers. So if something was to happen, you would have to reach somebody and get them to come get a truck or.
You have to put somebody on call.
Does that happen often, Justin? Very seldom that you need a call before 8 o'clock because it opened at 7 a.m. on Saturday,
So
right?
this would be a full container. You have to shut the site down,
Compact
with a full compactor.
At some of the sites, correct?
So if you chose 46 and 723, they both got compact.
They've got compact.
And Bible Road and Davis Road.
Bible Road does, Davis Mill does.
So through scheduling on that 12-hour day, that convenience center worker needs to make a phone call at 2 o'clock, at 1 o'clock. Say, hey, I need to bring me a truck
I think do box for the next day, for
for
the
the
next
next day, or
So
to
it'd
finish
be
up today.
communication
So communication would solve
a lot.
the after hours. And that's just part of their day. At noon or 1 o'clock, they say, go ahead and give me my container for the next day.
Right.
Something like that.
How about the Saturday that they think that you need a new container? You don't have anybody at the landfill Sunday, so that would go into Monday, correct?
Well,
So-
the person on Saturday could get it, the driver on Saturday could get the site prepared for Sunday
Okay, so it is somebody at the landfill Saturday. Is that a half a day?
all day.
All day?
And if you did the 7 to 7, you could just change one man's hour where that would be his only day he worked that week.
If he wanted to work the whole 12 hours.
And just work it one day?
Work the one
And then
day.
we close another day, so we open 4 and shut 3. That'd be about the same hours, would it not? How many hours does this take up to?
All right, Bo, were you talking about, were you considering yourself, talking about closing on Sunday like Amelia was doing as well, or?
Or pick another day to close, if it's Sunday, it's Sunday, but I mean, to have 3 days that's completely shut down and everybody, it would be a lot easier to keep up with. Knowing it's closed these 3 days and open 12 hours on each.
If you're gonna close a day, I'd say close Wednesday. So you've got them on Friday and Saturday, Sunday and Monday. And then they know there's nothing open on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Or you talking about doing 3 days straight?
Yeah.
Or 3 days, anyway, 3 days, but
Yeah.
Wednesday may be the thing.
What I'm saying is, I know at my house, we schedule Monday, Sunday, Saturday. I mean, Monday, Sunday, Friday pretty much is our schedule. I don't know how much trash you generate, but
Justin, how would that How do you think that would play to y'all if they were closed 3 days straight, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt us. It may hurt the citizens more so, but they could still bring their trash to the landfill free of charge as if they took it to
That's
the
right.
site.
That's right.
But it's just.
Well,
So landfill,
What about this?
Mhm.
Say you took Wednesday and you didn't open it till noon.
But then you're coming back off of that 12 hours, so everybody won't get confused.
Right.
What about if you shut it down Sunday and then you open Monday, Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Friday? That's right. Well, you'd be closed Thursday, but Friday, Saturday.
I'm sorry.
It would, a lot of people go to the convenience sites for one bag of trash.
The other thing
And
right
if they
now,
close 3 days consecutively, it's hard to do with one bag.
well, the other thing is people are acclimated to that Tuesday and Thursday closing right now. Yeah,
So
they-
keep them
they-
days the same and add another day to it, if we consider doing it.
Mhm. The only thing, it's like I said, Sunday is the easiest day, because that's 3.5 hours. That'd be the easiest day to close.
And they're pretty busy on Sundays, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know they are.
I see a lot of people about to stock
A
out.
lot of people
All
work
right, so let me ask this, can we simplify the hours, like 12 to 4?
See, that's what I was saying. If you take one day and say we're not gonna open 12, say it's Wednesday.
Mhm.
Wednesday we'll open at 12, that would save you some.
People remember that 12 and 6, 12
Yeah.
and 6, or a 12-hour span.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like the opening time, or 6 to 12, but,
That's right. I tell you that,
Well, let's-
I tell you, the previous board, because I was on that, we stumbled with this one. Didn't we? I mean,
well, it was easy, 7 to 7.
7 pretty easy.
Johnson,
Yeah.
I would say
Or 6 to
if you and Gary could kind of have a chat,
Mhm.
you see where the board's going. They want to be able to serve the citizens over a long period of time. People leave the county, they want to get their trash. But we don't want to increase hours, because we don't want to increase expense.
Right.
So if you guys want to have a chat about it, and then
See
maybe
what-
get with Steve,
so what's the goal to do a 12-hour day, at least somewhere?
Yeah,
I would say,
All,
Yeah.
all.
One or two.
Oh.
all.
when you're open, when you're,
12 to 7 to 7.
That way everybody can remember, it'd be better than you close one extra day or make the hours up somewhere else.
That's what I was thinking. 7 to
The
7.
setback of that is that some older people who work at a lot of them convenience centers has something to do. Are they good for the 12 hours? Might have to reach out to them and talk to them, say, hey, you still interested in doing this job if it was just 12 hours? Or do you want to do a 6-hour shift and let somebody else come in?
Because at 7 it's gonna be dark.
Well,
It-
there's cameras there.
It's lights there,
It is
but,
lights
but,
there.
but
Doc, it
But
doesn't
most
matter.
people don't, I mean, I'm just speaking as myself. I don't know, remember going out after dark and taking my trash, y'all. I just don't.
Well, what about 7 to 6?
Right? I'm just like, I gotta be honest with you. I ain't got them to, man, let me run in there.
Sneaky stuff.
If you do the 6 though, face it, a lot of people work in Richmond or away from here. They don't get home.
That's
until
right.
After 6.
which
You're
is
right
what
about
this
that.
whole discussion,
Yeah.
that's why this neighbor called.
I don't
So-
have a
so-
dog in the fight because they pick mine up. My husband.
So they take the trash with them to Richmond to work and wants to get back and dump it before they close.
Now,
I
they're gonna
think
get
they
home,
go by
get the
the
trash, and then they'll take the trash
I mean,
to work.
That's right, Stephen. Don't take it to work.
Yeah, right. I mean, I just.
Just me personally, I think 7 to 7 is the answer, but yes, please get with Gary, because
Okay.
we need that information to make sure that y'all got the people to cover, whether they do 2 6-hour shifts or if they.
It's
wanna
not really a
work 12.
decision we can make. You guys need.
Yeah, that's what I was
This was
thinking.
the
too.
citizens, the citizens were asking.
12-hour day, you can split the shift. So you don't have to be there all day long. And I'm sure some of those folks don't want to be there all day
Right.
long.
And then I see the point that if you keep your trash, if you can't get your trash till Saturday, it's gonna be stinky trash,
Yeah, that's
especially
right.
when 90 degrees.
All right, well, we'll put that back on the
All right, so
next work session as well.
Okay, that won't be on the, that won't be on the agenda. So while Justin is still here, Mr. Chairman, we can go to the next. All right, so don't want everybody to get really excited yet, okay? So I'm just, because I'm scared of y'all to go, no, Steve. So anyway, so I met with Justin and Gary, and we're trying to figure out, you've asked me to give direction. You know, I know we're maybe going to the transfer station, but we need to stop some of the bleeding now. So what we talked about, one thing we talked about is restructuring. And I'm trying to show, it don't show it in black and red, but anyway, I kind of figure where the
negatives are in a parallel.
you go back to, all right, stop right there for a second. I just stop right there. You can't see all of the fourth picture. So twice we came back into the black, okay?
Mhm.
Twice. All right. And the reason why we did was because of the Blackstone Inn was $75,000 some dollars, and Fort Pickett was the Afghanistan's. And so, first of all, one way, here's my restructuring plan. And I'm doing this, I'm just letting you know that I think I should be able to do this as county administrator. I'm not asking for a vote. I'm asking Justin to supervise the scale house, because I want consistency there. When I heard the other day, there may not be consistency there, okay?
That's not,
And it's hard for Gary to do that because he's up on the hill. Sometimes Justin's up on the hill, but the scale house and the drivers, because they're the ones that bring the money in, okay? They go across that scale, and we just want to make sure consistency is there. The other thing that Justin had made clear, he said, Steve, let's say we start charging people for couches. You know, right now you can take your couch, if you're a citizen Nottoway, all right, go across, you can still dump it there. There's no extra cost. Okay. But if somebody's renovating a house, that's a different situation. He said, what, maybe $7 for a couch. It's going to take a lot of couches if we make that change. And then you're going to have a lot of ticked off citizens that you're charging me for that couch to even get me close to the out the red into the black. So I said, Gary, look, you and Justin, let me ask you something. How come we made money those 2 times? And Gary says, well, that's because we went up to 300 tons. I said, oh, so 300 tons a day is your tipping scale. Okay, let's stop. Don't see. I told you to get up and walk away. People see your shorts, by the way. So right now we got 50 tons. If y'all would consider, if y'all would consider to let us this is a new term for me. Gary said, Steve, we can bring in clean trash. I said, whoa, Gary, I never heard that before. But anyway, would you consider to bring it up to 200? 250 maybe, and without 50, that's 300. Or
Where are you going with this? Where's the trash coming from?
that's what from another
a clean place.
The whole thing about that boat,
Trash is trash.
that's right. Trash is trash, and it's certain things we don't take. Medical waste, nuclear waste, we still ain't taking none of that.
So you talking about getting it from another
Solar
locality?
panel.
That's right.
and cap it for 250.
We've always had a permit for
Cap it for
300.
250.
And our existing cell has the ability to last under 300 tons a day for how long?
The
27, I think.
yeah, 2027.
Well,
And
past the
50.
transfer station.
Let me ask you this, Justin, if you allow that clean trash or trash is trash, isn't it gonna cost the county more money in labor, fuel, leasing of this equipment?
Oh, whoa. Okay, back up for a second. There's 4 pieces of equipment. We lease 3. It's $18,000 a month. The other one we own.
No matter the hours on it?
No matter.
Is that hourly? So after so many hours, they start charging by the hour?
I think it's,
Well, my paperwork said $18,000.
but I'll
You've seen it in multiple months, same thing.
No, I ain't done all that. I
I'll
trust
get
on
that
my
answer
staff.
for you.
Okay. So,
Some of your staff.
do you trust all yours?
Nope.
Okay. Anyway, but But I'll verify again. But we have to have 4 pieces of equipment, right? Okay. And one is the compactor, the excavator, what is it? The dirt, we transfer the dirt, and the bulldozer. Okay.
So what you've got right now is fixed costs
Right.
that stay the same. And the amount of trash that we bring in do not meet the fixed cost.
That's right.
So
So
you're gonna increase,
And that proves it right there.
you're gonna increase your tonnage to at least meet your fixed cost. And then maybe make a little, but that'd be nice. And you can send the county a little money.
I guess the goal first is to break even though.
The big goal first to break even. Then you do that by moving
That would
more
be
tons without increasing expense. That's what Bo was asking.
Right.
So you've already got expense that's not being paid for. So you need to increase your tonnage to meet that expense. And see what that is. Here they're saying it's 300, so maybe it is 300. But
You said cap it at 250 though.
Yeah, my goal, because you cap it for 250 because we got 50 tons of sales. That's 300.
He's talking about extra.
But I was more, Gary and I didn't agree on this. I'm more about taking baby steps to get to the break-even point. Taking 150 tons without 50, that's 200 tons. Could we make it there? Or could we get closer?
so last year was negative 400,000, is that correct?
Yes, 400 some.
So just so the citizens are aware, we're losing $400,000. That's why we're having these conversations.
That's 3.5 cent
real estate tax.
There we go.
I agree, and I see what you're saying,
And we have the license for the sale already, excuse me.
That's always been
but
in
it is,
place.
it's still, we're losing, but how do you say we're losing? We're providing a public service. We can say
Your
that,
expense is exceeding.
I understand, I realize that, and this would be a little different than say the sheriff's office or something else that also too has a fixed expense with zero income other than from the state, but it's a public service and so is this a public service. Somewhere along the line in the county, you gotta say, this costs the citizens of Nottoway County this amount of money to get this service. I can argue the fact and say, I got a dump box in my house and I don't use this thing, so why am I being charged for it?
It's kind of like
So-
taxes for the school if your kids don't go to
Exactly.
school.
Well, the
So-
school
so-
system too. You don't have any children, but you're paying taxes.
Or they go to a
Right,
private school,
I
you
mean,
pay that profit.
You live in the county, that's
So-
part of your obligation.
Is there someone that would sell us their trash
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
and per ton? Do we know?
No, yeah, Gary's confident that he can get that. Clean trash.
But-
I just said.
But there was a number, two different numbers that I heard earlier this year that we were processing trash between 90 and $95 per ton. But we could sell our trash for $55 a ton.
Who pays to maintain the road going from 460 into the landfill? Is that all VDOT? Cause that cost is going up, the road's already rough, more traffic, more potholes.
It must have went up, didn't have much trouble in it that time.
I would say-
Blackstone Inn.
That's where the potholes still at.
I would say it's worth investigating.
You can debate it.
We've got to plug these holes. That's what we're working on in half a dozen different places. So it's, just like we're looking at the tipping station, we got to look at this. We got to look and see that
So here's my point too, Bill. Let's hear me
the
out.
numbers make sense.
We've already got license for this sale and the next sale. So let's decide we did a transfer station and it took us a year to get to that set up. Well, we gonna close the sale and we lost opportunity. You got a license for 5 years for each.
Might as well fill it.
Yeah,
Might as well fill it.
going to fill it as long as you're making
Right.
money. As
Making money.
long
That's
as you're
right.
making money. You're still losing and going in the red, going and cover the thing there. But if
need
we,
to Close the gap. We gotta close the gap.
Well, this is something that could come a whole lot quicker than building the tipping station.
We
But
can gotta start now.
But you
So-
gotta make
so
sure
you're
there's
doing it-
rules and
you're
ordinances,
potentially doing it at the same
policies,
time.
with that forms and-
So you're generating more income
Yes.
and you're playing in your tipping station. And you fill this cell and then hopefully, or maybe we decide, all right, we're getting out and we're going to do the tipping station. But if it's working out okay, maybe we'll go ahead and open the fourth cell.
you find
While we're on the point, Mr. Chairman, I had a citizen contact me and ask me questions about the regulations and rules of his company dumping trash in the landfill. And he said, and y'all figure out who I'm talking about if you want to, if you don't care, don't
I
matter.
think two of us talked to him already.
All right. I tend to agree somewhat with what he was saying. He said, if I own a LLC that owns a property in a rental house, and I'm gutting the sheetrock out of it, and I carry it out there to the Nottoway County landfill, and they're charging me because I'm a business, do you think that's right? I said, no, right off the bat. I said, because it still was a residence within Nottoway County. You didn't get a Richmond company to come in to tear it out. Your company who was founded in Nottoway County, pays taxes in Nottoway County, should not be charged to dump that stuff in the landfill. Should be no difference than a resident. How's y'all's feeling on that?
The only difference is that the reason why he was charged because of construction material.
So do I have
It's
to
not regular
pay?
refuge.
So if I renovate one of my rooms at the house and I bring the construction material up at my charge,
Yes, sir.
so you telling me to put it in the bushes between here and there? Right. So all construction material is 2x4s and stuff that's
And that material,
stuff that's biodegradable, such as a 2x4 is charged.
Yes, sir.
To go back in the ground. But plastic bags ain't. Man, that makes really good sense. But it sounds like the government to me.
but that's where your $3 utility is covers as daily refuse. That's not daily refuse. That's construction.
Carpet, you don't charge for carpet, do you?
Sure will.
Roll up carpet in my house, bring it, they gonna charge me for it.
Take a long time for that.
The name of that dump box company is Meridian. They don't charge you anything for their material. You can put it in there. And by the way, if some of this 200 tons you talking about getting come from a company such as where it picked my dump box up at the farm and brings this material in there, that's something to consider too. You talking about clean trash? What is clean trash?
when we get closer to the plan,
Oh,
I'll,
okay.
I'll have about
And then the street by 2x4?
I hope not.
Construction material.
So just like this construction material, you tell me if I'm right or wrong, because this man he's been educated. That leachate, when it rains, that leachate goes down, okay? Then it goes down to that membrane and goes to that pond. Plenty of times, that's why they got the excavator. Plenty of times, like you got carpet or something else, that leachate will come down and then it's a blowout on the side. That's when DEQ says, all right, that's $25,000 a day. They have to go-
Pond, you mean?
It won't go down because it
Side
hits
of
solid.
the
It won't,
Oh, it can't go through.
it goes out, okay?
Same with mattresses, all.
Right,
We get a lot
so
of mattresses.
that's right. So that's why they get, so then they gotta go in there, dig past that, make the leachate go back down where it's supposed to, then cover it back up. Yeah, they ought to be charged, but that's a lot of work. That excavator is not diesel fuel.
I see exactly what you're saying. All these tubes and tubes of silage and hay I got wrapped in plastic. It goes to that landfill. They're not gonna charge me for the plastic, but they're gonna charge me for a roll of copper. You think that leachate water going through that plastic? No,
They gonna,
they gonna charge me for the plastic.
you talking about plastic like a rental hay bale?
For a tube that's 300.
One of the big tall long.
Side of the-
Now, I might have just talked myself into a charge for my plastic, but I'm making the point. Maybe it ain't a little roll of carpet that grandma mom sent up there.
So does the
Maybe
company,
it's a dump truck load of plastic I sent up there.
well, let's ask a man who's in business. So that's the purpose of the compactor. You keep running over that, trying to make holes in it, so what, the leachate will go
It tears
through.
it up.
But you gotta take diesel fuel, go back and forth, back and forth, back, okay.
You see, I do a carpet or whatever it is.
That's your most important piece of equipment.
Yes, sir. And we
So
own
by
that.
charging for this carpet, do you see a lesser amount of it? Or people just ain't renovating much no more? Or they dump it in the bushes?
We see a lot of
Do you? And they pay.
it.
All right, well,
Guys,
guys,
I know.
so just so you know, ever since I've been here, and Steve changed, I don't know if it was always been in play, but ever since I've been here in 2020, the permit for the landfill was 300 tons a day. And there was some discussion, and of course, COVID hit, and some of that was used as a reason to deflect. But at the end of the day, this has always been an option. But like I think we're headed towards the right direction. If we can make money, even with the transfer station open, leave it open till it gets maxed out, fill it, and then if we find out that it's not, we got the transfer station up, you got the cap the thing going about your business.
Justin, if you could talk to Gary and find out what we could purchase cash for. That's correct, or sell space for.
Yeah.
Per ton. So then that math is pretty easy, because 250 times per ton. And then what else would we need to?
Well, so we're gonna need another operator anyway, because there's not but two of them, and that's why you put a cap on it, because it was hard for the operator to keep going back and forth and covering it and
So
putting
again,
dirt on it.
you don't want your new expense to.
Yeah, we
Bring your
realize that,
income.
right?
Oh, so we're getting a new fixed cost
And that's all gonna be considered before.
Yeah,
we
more
make any
diesel fuel
changes.
too.
because you got more trash.
So you gotta, that's what we're searching for.
Yeah.
Good.
Just get us those numbers as
Could you-
quick as you can.
Was that hard for you too? Just because y'all only two operators on the hill, right? Was that time, was that pretty hard for you guys to?
I mean, you was busy all day, but we can do it. We can do it. It's just.
Justin ain't the kind of man I get to drift from saying, no, it can't be done.
No, no.
He said we can do it.
Good, right.
Don't tell me no, tell me how can we.
I'll tell you what, how about this? Let me come on, give me a little leeway before we hire somebody. Justin will go out, he gonna find some good clean trash. And how much we gonna sell it for, and me and Gary, we'll figure that out. And then.
We want it in
and
a
then let's-
clear plastic bag, so
Right.
we can see.
So you can't, so the public can't see.
And so
It's still plastic.
let's say if you would let me at least form a contract with somebody who would do that from, I'm just throwing out January to June, 6 months.
See how it
And
works.
then I'll show you the data, see what we got.
And Justin, y'all might
Okay.
reach out to other
Just get us
localities, see what
just
they
get us the
charge.
raw numbers.
Give you an idea.
on the
of
new
what starting
expenses.
point, then
Okay.
we'll see what we got.
That's
We're
what-
not buying the
No,
trash. They're paying up.
They're paying
You
up.
said buy.
They're paying us to dump.
I suggested to Justin maybe to reach out to a couple other localities, see what they charge for either kind of trash, just to give him a starting point to see where he needs to kind of start at.
All right, somebody, Mr. Chairman, let me give me a little leeway. Somebody been very silent at the table. I'm watching the station spread. Mr. Van Hobeck.
How much y'all pay to don't leave?
Somebody,
They buy the grade.
We don't,
You don't pay nothing, don't leave.
we pile them up in the woods and
Let them buy out the grade.
let people come get them and mix up wood chips with them and make
That's a
all-
good thing to do.
Right. But Gary pretty confident, and so I think Justin is too. If we go up on them, and we proved it, Why let it sit there,
Does the town
And we
pick
still go
up,
forward to transfer station.
Blackstone crew, would they pick up a mattress if somebody took it in the alley?
We get charged.
And then y'all,
Toilets and you can put down there anything. Now, one thing that we, and we can tell it wrong, but we always tell folks you can't put much building material out there because of the asbestos potential, asbestos shingles, and you're not.
See, we don't take any of that.
You're not permitted for it. So last thing y'all need is a whole
asbestos.
truck full of asbestos shingles. But we'll pick up.
That's right. You're right.
We'll pick up about anything as long as it passes paint filter test. Which means
Yeah,
that
that's right.
paint gotta be somewhat solidified and that sort of thing. And
So y'all pick up about anything, where y'all going with the trash?
yes, get the excavator.
Oh, all right.
We were gonna go to Lunenburg when Ted Constant wanted to raise our rates.
We done all made up now.
Yeah, we're all good to go now.
All right,
Thank you for trying to get that thing out of the red.
but y'all the ones pushing me to build. You keep saying 400 sometimes, 400 out here, something down.
Well, every time we turn over
Thank
something
you
to
for coming to-
Yes,
No
yes,
problem,
yes,
no
yes.
problem.
Thank you,
Glad
Justin.
to
Thank
be
you for coming tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Justin. Great, nice meeting.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna get these answers for y'all and I get it to see.
All right,
Very
great.
good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, number
Well, good
9,
night. You too.
Mr. Collins, Mr. Zodi on the litigation and future plan.
Good night, man.
See you, bud.
Want me to go first?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that litigation got pushed again to September, I believe.
There's, I should have taken you up on that.
No, October.
Yes, circuit court, we met Judge Keefe, the day after our Labor Day holiday, and with regards to the Eldermore set on, Green Hill Road. TJ, Andrew, what's his name?
TJ Oliver.
Thank you. Okay, I cannot, and TJ's a good egg. I like
So
to.
this was TJ's case.
Yes,
Monday,
and, for
with the county's case, but that involved.
yes, that. TJ is a party to this litigation on Green Hill Road. I believe he is lot D, that's right near that easement going up the fishing lane. He has some issues, and he wasn't ready to sign off on this plat. This is what I'm working with Max on. Max and I attended that, and coincidentally, Mr. Elder was there as well. But TJ's issue is that there is an easement, there's a dispute with the easement on the south side of his property. So he wants to go back, and he told Judge Keefe that. And Judge Keefe said, okay, y'all come back on the 11th of October. And,
Okay, so that was Mr. Oliver, not
Right.
the other
Well, the
party.
county, now, we're going to get together collectively, virtually, and make sure everyone's okay with the plat as it stands. I'm okay. This, it meets all the requirements, the standard design requirements, the lot width, depth, minimum lot size, and whatnot. We're going to meet on November 8th. So I believe that's
Who's we? I'm sorry.
me and Max.
Or just you?
Max and I, yes. And then, Mr. Morissette will be in attendance there as well.
What night is that?
November 8th.
You can go there and speak for him, or?
No.
Okay.
He's looking to make sure he's doing something, and if he's not, he'll find something to do.
Second thing, I'm,
So
working-
they go in there to meet to hash out and
It's a
agree
Friday.
as to the line. Is that what you telling us?
well, between TJ, yeah, it's going to affect all of us. What TJ does, the way I see it, is that TJ is not unwilling to sign off on this plat until that dispute with the easement on the bottom part of his property is resolved.
Mhm.
He doesn't want to do that.
I guess summarize, so this is all going on all summer. So this was the subdivision that was never signed or approved,
In 2016,
and lots were subsequently sold.
yes, 4
And
lots.
so these folks own a lot that was never approved by the county.
Correct.
And we're trying to resolve this through litigation and agreement with the servant.
And Mr. Collins too, I might add, I talked to TJ, and one thing that has happened him with all this is a business loan, and he wanted to get a second hospital mortgage on his house. And the lender says, we can't lend it on this. So he's experienced some hardship.
With the title bid.
Exactly right, the title work is bad.
Okay, so that's,
That's why he's.
Wells Fargo.
so hopefully November 8th, so Wells, the bank is involved. So November 8th, hopefully TJ will be satisfied with the easement. All parties will sign and this will be over with.
Ideally,
Gotta go in front of
but
the judge, though.
yeah, and the judge will work it out from there. It's not gonna be a final solution, but hopefully we're getting closer to that finish line. The issue is also a matter of the surveyor responding in a timely manner. So if there are any changes, we can.
Is this
address those.
survey being paid by whom?
Allegedly, the survey be paid by, Mr. Morissette.
So if Mr. Morissette declines to do that, is that gonna slow this process back?
That.
We gotta have a plan B, because this thing needs to be resolved for TJ.
Yeah.
I understand what your plan is. I can just read your mind.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to step up and pay for this thing if Morissette decides, you know what? I agree to it, but I ain't paying for the survey. And then you another 30 days, 40 days, get back on the document.
Well, and here's the thing is that we have to vacate the existing subdivision that's on record. And if I'm not mistaken, we've already done a plat of vacation. You also signed
Yes.
off on that.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll talk to Jeff. How about if I talk to Mr. Lavelle in between now and the October meeting? And I can update y'all at your.
Why are you saying that, Mr. Toth?
Because if Mr. Morissette decides that he don't want to pay for it, then it's gonna hamper this going back to
But
the judge.
has there been an invoice?
Not to us. I mean, we're out of that part. It's just a matter of Mr. Morissette. This all originates from an agreement that Mr. Morissette is disputing with our council.
Basically it boils down to the survey that was done was never recorded in the clerk's office.
Well,
Originally.
Was
On the
recorded, but-
16th
it
or
was
somewhere
recorded
there
but
back.
not signed.
2016.
Right, and that's what TJ has perked his lenders' ears up on this. It could have been a refi for a business, so don't hold me to a second mortgage, and I wouldn't dare put his business out anyway. But it was a business loan that he was trying to obtain, and it was poor title work, and they would not make the loan. So he's at a standstill.
Yeah, because at that time,
And if Morissette can, I don't know his way of thinking, but if he's thinking, I don't think I've been done right on this other piece, so why would I pay for the survey here? We just hold it up again.
no, and that's a very real possibility.
Absolutely.
But it'll just take an order from a show cause, I think, on behalf from our council, just say, put up or shut up. Catherine, forgive me for slaughtering
Okay.
But my thing is, look, we've been dickering about this since I've been here, 3 years. It's going on 3 years in February. This is just ridiculous. And it's because
I guess what I want to ask you is this, listen to this, Mr. Dan. To resolve this right here, can the county pay for this survey work if that holds it back and go after whoever that we think's responsible?
Can you read that right there? Can you read that right there?
Not this far, man. What the hell you think I got monopoly?
I said we pay is cheaper than the attorney.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's what I was,
But then his point
so
was-
you were written down what I was.
Yes, sir.
His point was that then we can then
In this.
yes.
end it, but then go after.
Good. That's right.
And if we're talking about a little bit.
Well, one, that news pretty easy to follow. Greg can go in there and tell the judge, we paid this, here it is, blah, blah, blah.
Man,
We
the
don't
survey
need.
is done. We
But-
pay for it.
That's
But
right.
here's the deal, though. Here's the deal, though, with that, because Morissette through Rock River, and I think Morissette owns the first parcel in that four lot subdivision. So he has to sign off on that. On the plat.
All right, so we just need to wait to get it back in front of a judge.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so that's where we're, okay, real quick, this is another Morissette. And I'm working with Catherine.
This other more is that, and now we're done with Stan Anderson, this goes to.
Right, that's it.
And
Right.
we met, and this is Mr. Ingram, this is Lewiston Plank Road. I got snookered, I'll say that.
It's your district.
That's not a legal term, I know, but I felt I got snookered. Anyway, I made a mistake. They put in 6 lots on a 40-acre piece. 3 lots or more is considered a subdivision. And one thing I'm gonna work with Catherine and Gary on is the misinterpretation by others in the public who say, oh, well, no, that doesn't mean the parent track. My interpretation is that's the parent track, and then parent track is.
So let me try to explain what goes on. the way the ordinance is written right now, you got this piece of land. And my son Bo and my son Philip, I give them each a piece of land. As soon as they receive it, they can divide it.
No, that's my issue is I don't think, sorry, I'm kind of want to break the
Is
table.
that what's happening?
That's what happened.
Okay.
With this one.
So that's
This
what's
is what-
happening. That's what it's happening. Okay? So what you end up with is an unapproved subdivision without proper planning. Correct?
What you end up with is a major subdivision, which
You end
has to go
you end
before
up
the
with-
board,
Correct.
3 lots or more,
But they did it,
in a way that,
so then, well, Brother Bo and Brother Phil,
don't look like.
they divide and they give it to their LLC. Because it doesn't have to be an entity, a person, the LLC. So then they give it to their LLC. So now I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the LLC, they divide it, give it to the daughter, give it to Cassie. Then she divides it. Okay, and now you got 9 lots. And you could do it all in 1 year and you never planned anything.
I want to tighten up that regulation.
We're gonna fix.
How soon can we fix it?
And what I did, because I was being threatened with litigation, I said, look, and I spoke to Max at the time, and I said, for me, I'm done with the
Sussex County did it real simple. When my aunt received her 65 acres of the family farm, she cut a 5-acre lot and a 7-acre lot. And Sussex County said, you can do no further divisions. And those 2 parcels cannot be transferred to anyone other than family for the first 10 years.
But if that's not in a deed restriction or something, how do you enforce it?
That's just what I remember happening. That's 20 years ago.
I don't know how to enforce it.
So there's-
Okay.
We've had to figure out a way to get them back into plan. You know, if a developer wants to divide, that's fine. But you're gonna divide and follow the rules and make sure that things are right. We've got another situation right now that's being looked at down on the other side of Blackstone where the lots aren't maybe numbered right. So the developer, you know, here we've done something else because we didn't do surveys, which we're gonna talk about next, or soon. So, but we need to fix this.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to let y'all know, especially about the, especially the administrator regarding that. And I don't like to make mistakes.
But do you have any, does your office have any, firm have any,
Insight?
insight on this as far as
Language mentioned.
expediting this?
So Gary and I had a conversation with Corey, what was that? Was I saying
His
Cody?
attorney.
Corey, yeah, his attorney today, and they are going to email us what they think, why they think they're in the right here. And they seem to have some issues with the way some zone or some ordinance is, they believe it's incorrect and not in line with current case law. We haven't received that yet, and when we do, we'll look at it, but we should be hopefully getting that tomorrow. That's what I said. So that's really the only update I have.
Bo, there was something, while we're talking about zoning and dividing, there's something you said to me back last fall, maybe. You talked about the fact that the developers come along and take 5 acres of the frontage, and you took a good cropland farm, and cut all the frontage off of it, and they took so much land that then you couldn't farm it anymore.
That's right. And you go down Robinson Road and take a look what you're talking about. So what it is, so it's 5-acre lot. Excuse me. And you get somebody want to build a house or buy an existing house, and it was, say it was a 25-acre farm field with enough road frontage to meet the setbacks and everything. So you require them to buy 5-acre lots to put a dwelling on, and then they only end up cutting 3/4 of an acre of that. And say the house sits with the deck and the pool on a 1/4 acre. So they got 3 acres there that they're paying taxes on. And they're not using it. It's growed up, it's got trees in it. Robinson Road, it's not an example of Burton Island, go far.
It's not been farmed.
But it's off 100 town.
Okay.
Yeah. It took it out of the farming aspect totally because it had to meet the county requirement of 5 acres. So I said I wasn't gonna do it in the first year, but I was gonna do it before I leave the board, in the box or unelected, is make a presentation to the board of how that could potentially be fixed by some set aside land, as in require the acres to go down to 2 acres, but have set aside, say, 6 acres behind that remain farm.
Put it in open space or something like that. I mean, or.
Exactly.
Or you, in the easement.
The 5 acres was created to keep the houses back off of farmland. But when people's income went up and their ability to borrow more money was stronger, they was able to buy them 5 acres and put them out.
It's a good
And
idea.
the truth of the matter is, the 5 acres, the 2 acres can be worth the same thing as the 5 because it's still a building lot. If you got $45,000 for the 5 acres with a well and septic, you can get $45,000 for the 2 acres.
I'm certainly open. It's just, my thing is, to maintain the open space and all that, but we can work through that.
So you take a 100-acre crop farm, developer gets possession of it, and you say, okay, you can have 20 lots, but there's gonna be 21-acre lots on the frontage, and then the rest of it's crop.
Right. It's crop or trees or.
Yeah, whatever. And what we want to think about is that we have to remember VDOT's role. Last 3 lots or more up to VDOT, because we're gonna have the issue
The traffic.
of too many cuts.
Interest.
Yes, sir. That's why we want public roads in those, or shared drive.
That's right.
So I'm willing to work with y'all.
And it's, but you go around through this county,
So we can take the state.
and there's places like on Hunter County going down on the left, Blackstone, down past my house on Old Richmond Road, there's a lot of little half-acre. So that was prior
Yeah, preachers
to
don't-
that decision, those decisions. I'd like to understand the planners at that time, why they decided to go away from a little half-acre lot subdivision to a 3 or a 5 acre requirement.
I think most of it was out trying to force the people, the majority of the people closer to the town, closer to the
Trying to-
services,
trying
merchant
to get them in
services,
town.
stuff like
I
that.
think you're right.
Yeah.
I think that was, I was
Protecting the
told by
rural
somebody that
aspect.
was on the planning commission that was the purpose of the conservation.
There was a fellow that came to the zone meeting,
He was on
Money
the,
on.
Ronnie. He talked about the conservation
Yeah,
district.
he-
That was, and the purpose was to get them to build houses in that district. As
Closer
opposed
to the town,
As a-
where they had
as
the
a-
service.
yeah,
to stay out of that.
and it's reflected, and the comprehensive plan, the zoning ordinance reflects the comprehensive plan, as it should, because we have our conservation residential. And my reading is that it was designed so it could, at least identify, and we haven't really done that as a county, floodplains, areas like that, steep slopes, but we don't have like significantly steep slopes like say in Job.
Well, see, I think we need to look at that, those places that are zone conservation because of the fact, the subdivision you're talking about are these 5 houses in a row in the conservation district.
And so how much development, and that's a bigger question.
And they're in the country. I mean, right across, it's a farm.
It's rural.
Yeah.
You get outside the county, you get outside the incorporated areas, it's country.
But across the road from them is what Bill was talking about. You got like 3 or 4 little chunks of land on the other side of 723. And these people, now you're gonna have a little town right there.
And it's gonna be, and it's a traffic hazard, depending upon this site distance.
Well, I mean, you got 5 out there. I mean, I ride by it.
And that's
when I go to
8
the-
vehicles. Well,
No convenience of it.
but a rule of thumb for y'all is for each home, it was the standard I learned in Bedford and Orange County is, it's 8 to 10 vehicle trips per day per home, for single family residents. So we have to think about the impacts, any new growth, and I just think we have to consider that.
You also have to consider that a residential rooftop is an expense.
Oh, for schools especially.
It is not,
10,000.
it is not
8 to 10
an
trips per
economic
day
drive.
for a residential house.
I
I know I ride.
What
all
are they
over.
doing with the land behind the houses?
Right,
They
yeah.
split it up into long, narrow things?
No, I could, how about if I send you a packet?
Yeah.
Okay, I could,
Because I'm wondering, they got a bunch of land behind those houses. And those houses are right up on the road.
but they have the potential to do more there, and if they
That's what
do
I'm
this-
saying.
And if they do the final plat, because I can't require a preliminary plat. State code says I cannot require a preliminary plat. It has to be voluntary for lots of 50 lots or less. So the plan commission doesn't get to review this stuff. Okay, so I'll just leave it there.
All right, well, guys, we're gonna move on, but Bo, if you want to, and I'm not trying to tell you to rush your plan, but while he's going through this, it sounds like it could be a good time for you to get your plan with him and get together and knock his thing out, because
Because if we start on it now, as slow as county boards move, not just this one, all of them, it take 3 years to implement.
yeah, if you wanna do that, man,
I feel like we roll pretty good, don't you?
that's right.
Rolling, talking like this, and rolling, getting stuff done.
All right, let's get the, River Street deed letter. Steve and Greg.
All right, so that's up there, Greg, that's the letter that, they want some kind of support. This is with, shucks, River Street. Greg?
What is BEAD?
I don't know.
BEAD is the equity or equality access.
Broadband
There it
Equity
is.
Access and Development Program.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's what I was just.
I know
gonna
Greg
say.
does too.
Is that where you disappear for 9 months after we told you to put the,
So I guess what they're asking is to
Yes.
sign something to show them the support that they're a competent, what is it, a competent business? What are they asking for, Greg?
Basically what this grant will do is, provide, access to folks who right now are being considered for internet access.
You're talking about outside of the 1,100 homes.
Yes.
Right.
And this would be, say somebody lives down, near Kinston Forest or somewhere like that. I forgot that road.
Ridge Road.
Ridge Road. That might cover them.
All right.
Well, it would help. It's gonna help the people in my district because we're in that southwest corner of the county. And I've looked at what they're showing service and I don't see his services down that way.
Yep, you've seen the map, I think you and I
Yeah.
went over that map.
Yeah.
And I think it was, Mr. Pauls as well. It's challenging, but I mean, that's what this effort was for, and this would be, I think, the third round or so.
Okay, but was there some concern?
Well, I mean,
That's what I was gonna
This thing
ask.
was moving.
Are they doing anything in the
That's
county?
right. What's the last thing that you got, Greg? We talked about.
I saw a River Street truck, but it was meet and greet.
Let's see, I got
a
a,
dumpster.
I've got an email from Gary, what we've talked about, and this is the other day when Catherine, Gary, Steve, and myself met, is that basically, what we were proposing is to have Gary, perhaps look at the plan.
Look at the contract.
Follow the plan and give River Street until the end of 2026 to complete their work. And they will, Gary and
Right.
Catherine will update the contract.
From what I understand, we're not trying to get out of the contract now. We're not really trying, we're putting dates in it.
Like I
Because-
said, the work
because-
session.
Timeline.
And they need to sign that. So I'm wary of signing any kind of deed letter.
What I was gonna
That's
say.
what it's there for,
Well-
until I know that they are going to obligate.
You can't sign because we're concerned.
Right.
Your board is concerned.
All right. And that's why I was on.
Everybody's,
So what's the, if you don't mind me asking, Alex, contract, what is the major concern that they're not gonna complete?
That they're not
They're
doing
all-
anything.
we haven't seen it. We're not
We-
even
we-
on their website that Nottoway's part of their
we-
program.
We have,
And it was,
We-
that
we have
contract
to-
we reviewed was 2 years ago, is that
Mhm.
right?
right.
Yeah, but see, we also want a timeline for the Vitae grant, the funding, and all that
What-
stuff that we've done.
what- my biggest-
25, 26.
I got something I could spend $2 million on.
You damn
Yeah,
right.
my biggest concern is we
Today.
at the end of December 2024, this year,
Mhm.
I have to have it obligated, that money obligated, that ARPA money. And if I don't have a contract that says they're gonna be, I wanna see numbers say, I will have it done by 2026. Because I could lose that, if they say, you know
You're
what, we
taking-
really just goofed up, we can't do Nottoway.
You're
I-
supposed to return it to the treasurer.
That's right,
That's right.
that's right,
But
that's
we
the
have-
problem.
But we have a radio system. We just applied for financing on it.
We got a transfer station.
And we got a
Yeah.
transfer station.
We got an animal shelter
Yeah,
So we got places we can spend it
right now.
rather than
Real quick.
wait on these folks.
yeah. Well, I think the issue is, now that there is a contract, I mean, I looked into this a little bit. If your funds are obligated by 2020, December of 2024,
Mhm.
it is hard to re-obligate them
After that date,
after that date.
that's right.
You lose it,
So-
as I understood.
Well, you don't lose, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they're re-obligated.
Right.
And you can re-obligate, if you're in a contract, you can after 2024, or December of 2024, you can re-obligate them in certain situations such as.
If your contractor failed to perform.
There you go.
I got you.
Or if they are no longer in business or some
Is
other.
that in writing for our protection?
Yes, that's in the Treasury guidelines.
Okay.
I looked at that recently because
And I
we've
was-
been looking at this
I
contract.
was
That
even
would
talking-
ease my mind a little bit about signing the
So-
bead letter.
I'm not,
But it sounds like the county is in need of this, well, that, but like
But
this.
Oh,
Yeah.
we absolutely.
So I think if this is something you would all want to do, I think putting in timelines of like when such and such has to be completed by, I don't really know how you would measure performance,
Right.
but if there's
So-
a way to measure performance by timeline, it would be great to put that in. a
Greg, didn't we,
contract.
wasn't a little hold up was the little site buildings that we had some type deed work to do on there?
Yes, sir.
That's been done, completed? They can't come back, that's been completed.
No, we've executed the contract.
We did. And didn't they
Well, the-
say
what
if
is-
this
these
happens
are-
and y'all agree to do this, we get $1 million, they get $1 million grant out of this thing or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, the ARPA money. Well, the grant too.
No, I'm talking about the grant money. That's the side.
that's the baddie.
Yeah, that's body grant.
Right?
Now,
And that
but
was
this
December
is-
25.
We're not paying River, and I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, we're not paying River Street directly. We're going through the Western Piedmont Planning District.
Right.
But anyway, I just want to make sure you clarify. But I gave them the contract to what's been signed by the county. It's actually two contracts. There's no dates, there's no dates in there. There's no dates in the contract.
Performance. There's no.
So they don't have any dates at all, they gotta perform anything by.
That's the
certain-
first thing that Gary and Catherine called as a unit, anyway. So what I'm saying is, let's put bead level in the box, put dates, sign the contract, you're gonna get it done, and then we'll talk about the bead level.
But why would they sign a new contract from an old contract that don't have no dates on it, just a whole liable for a
We
date?
can amend any contract.
Well, if they don't want us, if they want us to sign this, they better.
Well, maybe not a new contract, we call it amendment. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
an amendment.
Yeah, you
So
got
that's
a
your,
contract.
so that's your stick vote. This is more money for them.
So we ain't giving you this unless you give us our date.
Exactly.
Alright, but now the other thing you're gonna run into, and is the reason why, and it's just like what Dickie was saying here, these last mile completions is the majority of your coverage,
No.
those last miles. So every opportunity when you have these, somebody has got to be filing for it. If not, you know who's gonna complete it? The taxpayers,
Yeah.
when you raise their
They go.
taxes to complete it.
They go.
Yeah, so that's right.
Don't
If
talk
we
about
can-
raising taxes. then they
Now,
go.
what's their timeline to sign this bead letter so they can get this amendment on this contract so we can feel comfortable about signing that bead letter?
I mean, any contract is gonna have to be signed before December.
Well, we need to roll.
Yeah, I mean, this
Yeah.
has to be
So,
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so make sure I'm clear. So I got Catherine and Gary, they're working on the timeline, the contract, to amend the contract. We will put the bead letter's not gonna be in the package this next Thursday. That's gonna be put off to the side until we get this issue solved, because we got a lot of, and we can go in that portal quickly on December 31st and say, we're taking that money and put it to the
That's right.
radio project.
So
Anyway,
one other thing, I don't know.
that's right.
I don't think I shared that with everybody. That's a newspaper article where a couple of counties yanked it already.
Yeah. So some counties have,
Mecklenburg, they, because Mecklenburg, co-op or something.
Was that through
River Street.
River Street?
Yeah, because that's when I think this whole thing started, when River Street was first started as a company.
Well, here's the thing, that
That
means you
just
got
happened
more
in
manpower
December.
to come to Nottoway.
Well, let me also talk about this. If we do sign a contract, there could be some consequences for breach of a contract.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, if you don't do it, we can just back out and then give your money elsewhere. I mean, if you enter a contract, it's gonna be binding. So it's not like it's a fluid, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah,
not fluid,
exactly.
like, so with December 1st, December 21st, whatever it is, you don't feel comfortable,
We've already signed the contract.
you've already signed a contract and they might be able to hold you to it, depends on what the contract says. And when I reviewed the River Street contract, there's really not any discussion of breach, so it's just gonna be whatever.
Well, what really disappointed me was they came and gave us a great presentation. We were all happy. They showed us where we were gonna put everything, where it was gonna go, and then you don't see any of them. They're not here.
We asked them that here and they said.
to
we
our next
come-
work session?
Yeah.
Can we get someone from their personnel to one of our work sessions?
We had them
We've
here.
had them
We have.
again.
Oh, again,
But the
Before we sign the speed letter.
the
you
man,
just
the
amend
man
it
that
to
came here and spoke and
Yeah.
showed us the map.
showed everybody's happy. That was economic development. It was the next week that I found an article that said, county said yanked them.
But he didn't mention
They
that.
didn't mention that.
They said what?
That county yanked them, pulled them back.
No, what?
No, other
No,
county.
other county.
Mecklenburg.
I think Mecklenburg might have been one or two others.
Well, see,
I bet
this
Mecklenburg- I thought it
company's,
was in with it.
this company's centered in Danville. Remember, he was telling us they were doing something in Henry County.
And he
or
said it was a
Pennsylvania
real
County.
little company. There was a flow off of the bigger company.
Right,
Whole lot like the other deal that we did with selling the contract.
right.
It's a telephone call for this.
All right, so y'all got y'all's direction on that.
Yeah, we want, the board wants broadband. We're not saying we don't want broadband. We just want to we want a solid commitment.
Have to lean on this.
Yeah.
So no B letter right now.
So Steve, let us know about your relocation.
All right, go, next slide, if you can. Yeah, gotcha. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so if you look at this first letter, I sent this to the school board and Dr. Grimes. This is explaining that we want the Burkeville Elementary to utilize the Virginia Cooperative Extension. I signed it. I don't know the dates on it or not. I don't see it, but August 14th. So they're meeting tonight to discuss whether they're going, there was a little pushback verbally to me that possibly that they would like to open the school back up and may even ask us to get the voter registrar out of that. Okay, so with that, so they're meeting there tonight because they, from my understanding is they got to expand crew primary because they don't have enough room. I've even heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, I heard the principal had to move his office because he had to make a classroom space. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, but I have heard different things through conversations with some citizens. So Mr. Collins said, Steve, don't put your eggs all in one basket, go see Philip Van Norbeck. I thought, my Lord. Anyway, so Philip connected me to a gentleman that works for, Philip, help me now, is Mr. Rapp. And at the BB&T Bank in Blackstone, which is right across from where Philip's office is, right in front of the pay station. Okay, so I took the treasurer down there, Tammy Rayfoot. I took Christy Hudson, because I do believe if you move one, you need to move both because they need to be close by each other. And I did not share anything. I didn't take anybody from the voter registrar's office, but I wanted to see if there was enough space there. So what you're looking at back, if you go back, yeah, let's see. Let me get my bearings right. So if you look if you look at that picture right there, to the right is where Christy Hudson placed me. I call that office in the middle there a fishbowl because you can't get away from people. That's the space that Christy's folks could fit. Go back up again. Back up. So this is where the treasurer would be, which is right across. And then it's a big office to the left of it. And then they do have a drive-through too as well.
And the safes are already there.
And that's the room behind. That room right there is behind where the treasurer would be at. Anyway, and then there is room for the voter register as well. Keep going up. I thought, and I named the other way. I'm sorry. Okay.
So go down that hallway to the left.
No, sorry. Right. Big room. Where's the other big room? Well, no, that's it then.
That's the picture.
No, sorry. I'm trying to find it.
It's not there.
It's not there. Okay, so the big other picture. All right, but anyway, it's okay. But anyway, that's an option B. Option C is to put a trailer out there. I priced that just to get the trailer up here and the rental fee to get the trailer here to get installed. It's a little over $200,000. And that's right. That's temporary. This right here, I think. Talking to Philip, I've not talked to Mr. Rapp myself, but there is some negotiations that could take place, but this could be somewhere in the neighborhood of either $3,000 or $3,500 a month.
He takes care of
temporary,
and he takes care of the renovations.
And he takes care of renovations.
And we do like a 5-year period while we working out here.
But we haven't talked about that. I'm just throwing out numbers that might be, but it's some possibilities there. But I think we can get it under $50,000 a year.
So what have you spent on Ms. Rayford's space for mold remediation that you're gonna have. to
40,
spend.
I spent $48,000
I
on
remember that.
So if there's $4,000 a month and they're in a nice clean space,
He said 3.
well, 36,000. He's gonna try to get through.
it. We gotta do some bagging. We haven't had that conversation yet. I'm just looking at
So,
numbers.
I'm just saying, so he spent 47, so even if he spent 4, that's 48. And you're not dealing with breeding mold and everything else.
And potential lawsuits.
And everybody's coming.
The down of
How
this
much
is
cost
not
to
in,
move up at?
my understanding is that I could work with the town manager of Blackstone and he might could help me move, at no cost, a very little cost.
We will work with the county to assist with the move. We see this as an economic development. We have a big empty building downtown.
Now, let's go back
Moving
to,
costs are a prohibitive issue.
Well, what about the system?
Then you can have.
Have we gotta bring the whole bright system
Pick up
and
truck.
all
The
that?
bright system
Well,
should be able to talk.
Yes, we've already called them. He can make that happen. He has to put some type of remote system in. But he said, Steve, I can make that happen. And he said it should be somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $10,000.
so go back to Plan A. We all were up there. Daphne started having breathing problems while she's doing it. Because of the mold.
Berkeley School, you don't know.
Berkeley School. Those rooms aren't ready.
No, they're not.
So whose renovation cost? That's gonna be county. I assume school board's not gonna pay to fix their own space and then let us get in.
I believe, and I think y'all were the same meeting I heard, I believe that you heard a figure of somewhere, when we were talking about the Berkeley School, eventually, I think, either if they do not move anybody and they don't do anything with it, we're gonna start paying rental and we're gonna have to pay part of the electrical bill. I was told the electric bill was somewhere in the neighborhood of $70,000 a year.
I'm talking about just the renovation of the space.
So what is 75
The
years?
Berkeley School.
Utilities.
70,000?
What?
Yeah, to run the school,
I
70,000.
thought y'all heard it. I thought we
That
heard
was-
it in
that
the
was the
in the
meeting.
work session.
They said it at the meeting, but we had a joint meeting.
Okay, it stuck me.
It ain't no way that's correct.
I'm getting ready to say the same
They
thing.
got a whole power loss up there somewhere.
They got that gymnasium running 24/7.
Man, you can power 15 chicken houses for that. I don't believe that.
They got all the power running
All the time.
It
air.
still couldn't be 70,000 a year.
But you also got to stop think they got that other stuff going on there, then going to the side of the building and
It's
Well,
still
see, now,
70,000.
with bringing those freezers
The
and
air power
feed more.
1,500 a
that's what I'm
month.
talking about.
Maybe they include somebody cutting the grass up there. See, that's basically what are they gonna
We
do when
can
they
ask
tell me they're
Kevin,
gonna cut the
we can ask
grass?
Kevin what it is, but,
Oh, you can cost like that electric million power.
But the
to
question-
that, what it is.
so go back to my question. The county's gonna have to pay to renovate those spaces,
Right.
correct? And we won't own it, the school board still owns it.
Well, yeah.
So you got Plan A, B, and C.
Yeah,
The
I
first
shared,
thing
let
is-
me, I should have started that, Bill, and I apologize. The Plan A was the one I showed y'all last work session. To get the Virginia co-op.
Right,
Right.
right, right.
I just wanna make sure I clip that.
Okay, so Plan A was
Berkeley
move
School.
co-op, wherever they moved, then go and get to build out that space for the
Right.
new commissioner revenue treasurer. So
Oh,
the, you can have expense either way, so you gotta figure out what's the least expense and what makes the most sense. $200,000 on a trailer, I don't think that,
No, I
Makes
wouldn't
any
deal with that.
so
It's
that,
just temporary.
so that
Take
goes
the trail
away.
off, yeah. I
So
figured
now
that.
so now we're back to moving. Burkeville School is not our decision. That decision is being made by the school board. So we have to wait to see what their decision is to even say that's part of the plan.
Right.
And so if they say, yes, you could do that, then we gotta do the math between this building and the school and say, okay,
Right.
where are we spending our citizens' money? Where are we
And
saving?
if they vote tonight to reopen that school, I gotta get the res drive somewhere. I mean, that's a given. I
We'll see what
gotta
happens.
get,
So
two things
tonight,
gotta happen.
we'll find out tonight.
Yeah, we're
I think you should want to get we should want to get ready to try it.
And so they also shared the bills with the BB&T, the utilities. It ranges anywhere from, the electricity was anywhere from 600 to 1,200 a month, depending on when or summer, whatever.
600 to 1,200 a month.
Right.
I think they said the water and.
Water,
trash,
sewage,
everything.
everything.
And they just told us and expect us to bleed 70,000 a year. for that Burkeville building,
Well,
man.
well, maybe I'm just, but, you know,
No,
I'll be
man,
I thought
honest.
I heard that, I thought
I
I
heard
heard
it.
the same number.
I heard it, but I'm, y'all should have.
Now, some people get up in the morning, they take 2 slow people.
All right, we're gonna move on that.
All right, so let me, so this is not gonna be on the agenda, but I'm just letting y'all know, we gotta be thinking, you know, I just wanna say the political part of this, I gotta always bring the
I
politics
know what it
in,
is.
is you on one side of the county.
Right.
And dogs on one side of the county and treasurer. and-
Well, we've already heard about the registrar being at the other end of the county too, so I mean, that's a,
It's
you
just,
gotta do what you gotta
And
do.
animal
But at
control.
the end of
Animal
the
control.
day,
So everybody
health
knows.
supersedes
Oh,
all.
yeah, certainly.
What's your, that?
I just-
Go ahead and hit a black
I
one, that'll
can't
help them keep track.
Tell the citizens that I can spend another $47,000 on road. When I had a place I could spend some money,
That's right.
Yeah.
everybody's.
But either
Plus,
way,
it's
we're gonna
gonna
have
make
to make
money
sure we
to change
keep
So-
that.
trash.
So let me say this, so let me keep bringing it up. So let me just say this, the treasurer and the commissioner of revenue is on board. They're not, they'll say, hey, you won't hear anything from me, I'm fine.
So let's just figure this. If they say yes tonight, let's get a comparison. Penny to penny, what it's gonna cost there, and just, if they say yes tonight, if
Then
not,
it's just math.
Well, and keep in mind, aren't they supposed to have money?
yes.
They've got over $1 million.
You talking about the use for capital expense?
Yes,
Yeah.
And
they've
that's,
got money.
They haven't used it.
That's what I'm talking about.
that's the other thing, if you're doing anything for the school to that building, it would make only common sense that you're gonna upgrade to when we're out, they don't have to go back and tear that out and redo something else.
Right.
So it's just a quick strategic plan. If they say yes tonight, you go in there and you make the improvements to where they can use it once we're out.
And they use their capital improvement funds.
Yes, because if not, we can always pull that money back.
You know, we can use
Yep, we can use, there you go.
Okay.
All
it.
right,
So they make their answer, and then we want to, we're gonna do a cost side by side.
Yeah.
So you want me to work on the cost, make sure I'm right, even the cost of renovating where the Virginia Cooperative Extension is we have to put the treasurer in.
yeah. I mean, just.
Well, I don't have to do that.
Well,
I don't
but you
have to do
gotta,
that if they vote to do it.
That's right. I mean, that's what I said. Don't
so we'll
waste.
see what the vote is,
Okay.
and then if you have to choose between Burkeville Elementary and the BB&T building, we need side by side for the citizens to see that we made the right choice.
Okay.
And then you can start on your renovation costs. Once those folks are out, then you can start on the complex,
There you go.
All right.
because you got empty space and you got,
All right, I'm on it, and that won't be on the agenda. That's not on the agenda. I just want to throw that out there.
All right.
Okay.
The LRA resolution.
Which I would like that to be on the agenda. I got, this is another reason why, Catherine is here tonight too. So this is the resolution of changing, the LRA to say it's, this is a resolution to say it's an arm of the county. I don't know, and Catherine is here tonight. So we may not be able to sell Reservation Road like I was hoping, even though it's scheduled for a public hearing. Because on the deed, it says LRA.
Yeah,
So,
that's correct.
so every time we sell land that's got LRA on the deed, we gotta change that deed.
Yeah, you have to deed it to the county.
Well, there's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy to do.
Right, but can I have, what did the public hearing say, Miss Kelly? I can't remember. Sale of Reservation Road, county owned, or how do we write?
It did not say, did not say who it was listed to, it had acreage, tax map number.
So we still can have a public hearing and.
I mean, that's fine as long as the county owns that by the time of the public hearing.
the deed needs to be changed.
Right, so, all right, so
And
I do the,
public
all
hearing's Thursday, right?
right, so I gotta do the,
Is it illegal to sell our LRA land? Is that what you're saying?
You have no authority.
You don't have any authority to sell our
The
LRA,
county has no authority to do that.
but the county does have authority to give authority to deed it to the county. The
So
LRA land.
who runs the LRA?
We have a
They're
LRA,
looking at us.
same people.
All right, then yeah. So what you would have to do, just to make sure it's all clear in the land books, whoever's supposed to be signing as LRA, authorizing LRA, you deed it to the county, and then that can be done in one day.
okay,
You have to record it. That takes time.
Do you have to do a public advertise that you're doing that?
For
Does it change
buying
hands?
property, I don't think so.
Receiving property.
Yeah, we're not actually buying.
Yeah, well, receiving property.
Yeah,
Don't
the board of
say so.
supervisors would have to have a public hearing to receive the property.
I would have to double check on that.
Okay.
But I
Which
think,
could be
I
the
don't,
same
I
night,
don't,
it just
I
has to
feel
be
like, because there's a weird
before
law,
the
it's
other.
like if
That's
the
right.
county sells it, they have to, but if they receive it.
Yeah, I remember being one way it don't, one way
We
it
just-
don't.
I think
You and
Wait
I
a
talked about
second,
that.
No,
we
we
just
just-
bought,
okay.
we just bought the
It's
animal
confusing.
shelter, we didn't have a public hearing. We just
We can,
received.
I was told, I was told by,
We can
not,
buy
not,
it.
by, I was told by Sands Anderson, not this, that you can buy land without a public hearing, but
So then-
if you sell it, you gotta have a public hearing.
So L coming out,
Okay, I said it
LRA,
right.
LRA to county, no public hearing, county to third party. So really.
Yeah.
Right now, with like the bowling alley, we need to go ahead and do that deed.
Yeah.
Anytime we set something up for sale, we need to just go ahead and do that.
Change the deed.
Well,
Change
why,
that.
if, you know, if we're trying to get out of the LRA business, why can't we just do one deal?
I said
and
that to
say
start with.
all of it comes.
I said that to start with.
So
Well, I
each-
mean, you
So
technically,
each,
For so
so we
many
can take
years
10
now,
so we can take 10 Schedule A's.
2011, the time was up. So
2012.
2012, the county can inherit everything the LRA.
That's what I'm saying. Why do they have to have a?
That's what we need to get moving.
Ain't that what this
Yeah.
resolution's for?
So we can do a
Yes.
deed with 12 Schedule A's
Can we
on
do
it,
a
describing
blanket
all of the
deed,
LRA
Fred?
property.
you
Oh,
technically
cool.
can, I don't know if I would recommend that. Depends on how many properties.
How many different deeds it is?
Yeah, I mean, it's all in Nottoway County, so you technically could. I don't know if I would recommend it just based on the amount of properties that would be listed.
Mhm.
But
But the only
I
thing
mean, but
is,
the
the more deeds you
resolution-
write, the more legal, that's what costs a hell of a lot of money. You got 20 deeds to do versus 2.
So,
the resolution, I think, gets rid of the
The
LRA
LRA and
and
the-
it acts, that's the
what we're
way,
talking about.
yeah, so you wouldn't even have to really do it.
Because we've gotten rid of it.
all right,
Right,
Because when we
So the
inherit
county's
the
supposed to be-
LRA, we inherit the property,
you
Inherit
inherit
everything.
all the
All of
assets, everything.
you know? So that simplifies that.
So we do this resolution. It takes it away from the LRA, called the LRA,
Mhm.
Yeah,
which a lot of positions, you'd have to change them to regular old county employees like Shane.
Yeah.
And then we can sell what we would like to sell, such as the bowling alley, timber, or anything else.
but hey, hold on, this is clear as mud to me, so look at here. All right, so we're gonna do all right, so here's my train wreck. Okay, here's train, we got a public hearing, the public, they might come about, and they may not, but we're selling the Reservation Road property. So that's set up already,
when
We
is
got-
that set up for?
Thursday night. It's been advertised.
Not to sell Thursday night.
The public hearing.
The public hearing.
Public
The public hearing.
We can't hold that public hearing.
I don't think you're gonna be able to hold that.
You can't hold it.
Because
I
LRA,
gotta advertise and redo it in October.
I don't think, yeah, because I don't think at that point you're gonna have the authority. What you need to do is pass this
Yes.
resolution.
resolution.
So if we pass this.
We don't
first,
need that.
So if you
Then we can
pass,
have, then we can have the public hearing right after.
Yeah,
you
but you gotta transfer the property.
That's
could,
right.
Yeah,
And it's already
the
been
recording,
advertised.
the recording of the property.
Yeah,
isn't
but I
gonna happen
mean-
in a week.
Well, all right, well, let me ask you this, let me slow
my
it.
advice,
Really?
Okay, yeah, you go.
Yeah, money's.
So the same kind of money, so we have to have two public hearings. What? We do the resolution, we have the public hearing, but we make no decision.
You gotta do it within 30 days, though, right?
okay,
We make no decision, and then we I put it on the docket for October, we vote on.
I think as long as you're within that 30 days, make sure you ain't at 31 or 32.
So then,
So
so
what
then
I-
we've advertised the public hearing, we do the public hearing, take no action until after it's deeded. And then we vote.
Do you have to deed it if you do a resolution getting rid of the LRA?
no, I don't think so.
I
I
would
think
think you
you
would.
have to, okay, here's,
Then we do
it
the same
is,
night.
it is very confusing, but with this, it would be best to pass this.
Mhm.
And then for the sale of the property, after you pass this, you'll own the property. For the sale of the property, you need to advertise that in October. Do a,
Because we actually own
because,
it.
yes, and you can then sell it after.
We won't
Because
own this
we-
till Thursday night.
So we
So you
basically
need to have
advertise.
like a
I'm
public
just-
hearing.
yes.
I basically advertised to sell property that I really didn't own.
Correct.
Well, that's a big,
But if
I'm
you
sorry,
pass-
board.
Ain't you here?
That's all right.
Yeah, I know.
If that's the only
I would've thought
mistake you
the same
made,
thing.
Hey, we're learning this together.
All right.
So,
Okay, so we'll do the LRA resolution. Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if people show up, you just have to make it clear to them that.
What we do is, if they show up, we'll ask them at the very beginning of the meeting, and we're gonna amend the agenda to take the public hearing off. And then once we do that and approve the agenda, we'll ask the people in the audience, is anybody here for that public hearing?
Okay.
And then we will explain to them what's going on and why we have to change that.
And then the public hearing will happen in October.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'll be back.
You need to contact a real estate agent, because I'm sure this is messing.
Yeah, I got to call Lee, Mr. Simmons, I do.
He'll understand.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And I think he did put a stipulation in the agreement, and that I had already signed, that if it depended on when the board decides the board's vote, but it didn't say what month, it just said what the board's vote. But I'll call these.
All right, and
So the
guys,
next one will be the bowling alley, because that's coming on.
It'll be the same principle, so we got the bowl now, okay.
But you have to have a public hearing.
Yeah, I've got to do a public hearing, but the resolution is set, once I get the
Once
resolution.
you have that resolution in, you just have one and you're done.
there's no
You're
more
good.
LRA.
Yeah,
So
You're
the
just getting rid of it.
LRA board's disbanded and everything at that point, because
Yeah.
we'll never have another LRA meeting.
Well, now then, as Daphne mentioned to me, those people will become county employees.
That's correct.
I mean, the money's not gonna change.
The money's the same.
Code and all.
Right.
Right, but all of a sudden somebody has a boss.
That's right. Yeah.
Correct.
All right, the
All
Shoot
right.
Road School Bus.
This is, Mr. Rash had brought this to our attention, if we could go to the next page. He's, Rash, I hope Jeffro survived the storm last night. He told me that, I named it the back of Jeffro. I didn't know he was gonna put that in writing. Anyway, basically, I think, it's the, Shoot Road is the problem, Mr. Lloyd, trying to think of, it's curvy. You wanna
Very
say
curvy.
anything about it?
I mean, he made a lot of good points.
Right.
And it threw up a lot of red flags, so.
So what he's looking forward to get rid of straight. I don't know how to take this to the next step.
We
Is
need to go to VDOT.
Yeah, I think you need to go to
Request
that.
a
So-
Speed limit reduction.
okay?
Yeah.
A good way to do it. Not straighten the road at a speed limit.
No, just reduce the speed.
Well,
through that.
when
Kinda like a school bus.
then what we do is when VDOT shows up Thursday night, bring that part.
Yes,
up.
yes.
Okay. But I want you to be aware of that.
Yeah.
And there was some near misses for the children, so that was.
Well, we don't want that.
You definitely don't want that. All right, the dog tags and incentives.
Go to, okay, so that's what your dog tags are now. Mr. Collins and I have had conversations about
And
this.
John and I talked about it this
Yeah.
spring, but we kind of stopped on it.
Yeah,
We realized that the Virginia code covers a lot of it. So this really is the only place that the county has anything to do with it.
what, and by the way, Ms. Norton, who was it? Tammy said that they have one county or somebody has lifetime tags, but the thing about it is, I'm not sure how that works, because every 3 years, you're supposed to get the
It's your rabies.
rabies.
You gotta have the certificates when you buy that.
So one thing we talked about, let's say this, the people, the responsible dog owner is gonna get their dog checked for rabies. They don't do that, okay? The irresponsible one, not so much. So could you have something in place, like, I'm just throwing out things. If I go get a dog tag and I show them, like, I got rabies for the next 3 years, that person pays, I'm just throwing out a number, $10. But and then they don't come back for 3 years. They don't have to come back next year. Anyway, if I showed that the dog has been spayed or neutered, it only costs $5
For 3 years.
for 3 years. You see what I'm saying? Given it.
Well, what I'm saying, all right, think about this. Say I take my old dog and she dies in year 1. Do I get a refund?
Well, the next year,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah, but the next year,
I paid for
you're
3
gonna
years.
get your new dog, and then that dog's
If
only
I
gonna
have
have
a
one.
new, if I have a new.
That dog's only gonna have 1 year.
Well, how about just using what we got now, like this now?
I think keep it like it is.
If you went there and bought a dog tag, and the dog got killed before you got home, I don't think you'll get your money back.
Well, I mean,
Right.
but
What we're trying to do is encourage people to spay and neuter so that we don't put them in the animal shelter.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm telling
And
you.
by the way, all of this is exempt under the kennel tag. The kennel tag exempts you from everything we're talking about.
All right, well, let me ask you, here's another question which might help me out at home. When somebody buys a kennel tag, do they have to show the rabies?
That's a Tammy question.
I don't know,
That's
but
a
it's
Tammy.
Tammy.
I don't know.
I think
See what
we
I'm
need to
saying?
get her to get some information. I just looked this up and it's 7 municipalities use lifetime dog tags. It's something with her, she mentioned to me about the recording, it saved their office a lot of money and. some
Well, it's
letters
at
and
$5,
all this.
you're losing money on a tag transaction. Because of the time and the mail and like Dinwiddie, I go to Chesden Animal Hospital. So when I get a rabies shot, Chesden sends a letter to Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie contacts me because I live in Wilson, so they think I'm a Dinwiddie resident. I'm not. I'm a Nottoway resident. So,
I'm like,
so that triggers.
Steve lives in
So that triggers. So the fact that there was a rabies shot done in Dinwiddie County triggers a notice from the treasurer's office. Hey, you got to get your tag. So that's interesting. That Nottoway, we just rely on people to show up over there. And you got to take your piece of paper with you. You got to do it every year. So you're just trying to make it easy for somebody that's spayed, neutered, rabies shot. We'll see you in 3 years.
I understand what you're saying, but I see some issues with it. So you say, all right, if my dog dies in year 1, and I go get another dog, even though it doesn't
We're sorry. That you
even though it doesn't have a rabies shot, it gets a tag.
But now he's got to get a new tag because now you don't have rabies.
See what I'm saying?
Dickie, you're right. I think there may be a precedent already set on this though, with like the Department of Game issues those lifetime fishing and stuff
Got
like
it in my
that.
pocket.
Yeah,
but you could die early for that.
Yeah,
Like
so
that.
so there's no refund for anybody on that because
But what I'm saying to you see my point?
Oh,
My old dog died. So I get another dog and I'm thinking, well, I'm good. I'm good for 2 more years. I don't have to get a rabies shot.
We don't have to.
you can put that tag on that dog.
That's what I'm saying.
That's right. If anybody comes up there, they'll look at the dog.
You got a
Unless
tag
they
on.
go and do their actual research and
You
say,
have to have a picture of the dog.
that's right. Yeah.
I think 2 things the board wanted to accomplish. What I mean, that will never pay for the cost of really
That's right.
for the animal shelter and all that. Kind of, we know it's to give an incentive for the good dog owner,
Spay and neuter.
and keep them more productive. To produce it.
The good dog owner doesn't care about doing this every year.
That's right. You're right.
That's true, yeah.
The good dog owner does not worry about
It's a
doing this
hindrance.
every year.
It's a hindrance.
The only thing I care about is I got to leave to work and ride up to the courthouse with a piece of paper.
Well, tell her that you want longer hours. People at work.
Well, wait a minute, Bill, you may have something else there too, though. Why can't we buy a 2 to 3 year tag? Even at full price?
Also, spend $15 and I don't have to come back for 3 years.
Yeah.
It gives.
We'll look at the same piece of paper.
That's right.
It gives a whole list of pros and cons.
Well,
and
the whole thing is, like you say, you got that rabies certificate good for 3 years.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
don't need to look at the same piece of paper.
And it says with this, a list of those not responding is forwarded animal control for enforcement. So if they don't have rabies shots, et cetera, it's all.
So
So do law enforcement.
So do you want Tammy to give recommendations? I mean, she's
So we talk
It's
about
fair.
it. Everybody think about it. And we'll come back.
And I want to find out if those people
The
that
kennels-
get kennel tags have rabies shots.
Yeah, and I
Ask
want.
Bo. Bo's got a kennel tag.
Do you have to have rabies shots to get the kennel tags?
Every
You
dog?
do?
You're supposed to have it every dog.
That's what
You're supposed to. Now, if you say that you got kennel tags and you got 7 dogs in there and you show rabies shots for 5, are they gonna come count the dog? I ain't gonna say they are, but it'd be in your best interest to have rabies shots in there.
Exactly, 100%.
But you don't really, I said, well, you got leeway right
But technically, you could have 10 dogs and say, because the kennel tags required at 5, or if you got like that are not spayed and neutered, you could have 10 and it's still, 9 and it's still cheaper to buy the individual tags because it's only $45 compared to 50. All right. So, but you could walk in there and say, I've got 5 dogs, not spayed and neutered. Here's rabies shot for, and you got 20, and they will give you that kennel tag.
Say that again. You
That's
got
it.
5 dogs.
If somebody's gonna lie about it, he's.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah,
will lie.
yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying. It's not a lot of
Enforcement.
Enforcement.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not.
It's on a complaint basis.
I mean,
That's
you have
right,
rules, but
right.
nobody enforces it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
But
there's
the
no-
other part to it, it reduces your annual processing fees and it
Staff
increases
time.
residential convenience, because if you get a lifetime tag, you don't have to come back to the office again.
And see, I don't mind it, but I definitely wouldn't mind this.
What do they
3
charge
years
for a
to go
lifetime
along
tag?
with your tag?
Yeah, they had one.
These counties only charge $10 regardless.
Then you lose your rabies.
You're
effect.
losing, you're losing.
You're losing in the long run, but it's sure a whole lot less. You might raise more money getting a lifetime tag, because I'd say it's a really high percentage of people in the county don't have any type of tag.
All right, so we'll look,
Yeah.
you know, you guys asked, you've been talking about it, so I put it on the agenda tonight to spark the conversation. And we'll visit that, because that probably needs to be done.
Talking to
So,
the treasurer.
okay.
All right. So, the auctioneers RFPs, Mr. Toad,
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
about
sir.
the auctioneers. the
Oh,
RFP?
yeah. So Steve and I met out with the, one of the proposed auctioneer.
Mhm.
I don't know what day it was, that Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday, I think.
Monday, Tuesday, and he and I weighed out, the other ones who applied to do it. And one question we had was 180 days, and we had that explained to us. So one of the other ones, and first I'd say, me individually would like to see it as local as possible, opposed to a .gov or Motley's in Richmond or something like that. But 180 days was not listing it with this person for 180 days if it don't sell. Is this, if we sold it within 180 days ourselves after the auction, that we didn't agree to the price, that we still give him his commission of 10%. And here's the reason why. I've been to sales before and there's a 10% buyer's premium, and I don't even like to go to them on farm equipment. So if it don't get sold, I go to the farmer, I know automatically save myself 10% after the sale. Say, hey, buddy, you wanted 5,000 in that, but you was gonna have to pay 10%. Will you take 4,500?
Mhm.
He still gonna get his net money. He said, yeah, pay me. Well, that's not fair to the man that puts the advertisement into the property. And then you didn't sell it, but you went around behind the back and sold it. He's not asking to list it for 100 days. And if I was him, I would not do it unless I did that too, because it's gonna cost me between $3,000 and $7,000 in advertising. And the fact of the matter, Steve and I told him, and I spoke for me individually again, but I said, as a board of county, we want to sell it. We want fair market value for it. And an auction company on a public sale that's been advertised properly is getting fair market value. Whether it's $800,000, $1 million, $300,000, whatever the fee is, just so long as it's advertised properly. And Bill and I even talked about this already over the phone. To answer that question, you asked me how long is the bidding process they got? It's at least 30 days. It may be sooner than that, maybe 45 that the bidding can actually stop and it end on the thing. And he said 80% of your bids will come in the last 24 hours. Obviously, who wants to run the thing up just to keep running it up?
Bo, can I play devil's advocate on just one question? Because I don't know. It's just simply, he's in a business. That's his risk. He's chose to be in that business. You know, what
Well, it ain't
about
no-
the
it ain't
180
really-
days?
It really ain't no risk.
No, he's talking about the overhead.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people that's not gonna bid on it if they think that we got a minimum bid set. And I suggested to Steve that we don't set a minimum bid
Oh, no.
until after we find out what the high bid is. Then we decide whether we want to accept it. You can. For public advertising, you can. You
He's talking about
decide.
the 7,000 that the man spent. If he was in the business, he ought to be able to
Yeah.
accept that expense because he's going to sell the building.
If he's held to build it. But what about if Nottoway
We don't
County,
own it. We don't owe it.
we don't owe anything, but he's not gonna charge an advertising.
Mhm.
That comes out of his 10%. But if he don't sell that building, and we sell that building 2 weeks after he tried to sell it and get it sold, he should be entitled. Now, I did another point I'll bring up. I ain't trying to skip gun. I said, how much of a deposit will you require on this? He said, generally 10%, 10,000. I said, that ain't enough. I said, I would suggest you require $20,000 deposit. And if your high bidder becomes negligent in closing, you give us half of that deposit.
Typically, an auctioneer's charges a fee as a deposit, like 10, 12, whatever percent.
And some of them flat, some of them flat. But most times they do
Depends
charge.
on the amount. And you can set a reserve if we don't.
Well, that's this discussion about the reserve, because I was, well, we gotta set a reserve. But to Bo's point, if you've got enough bidders and it gets aggressive in the last 24 hours, we end the sale on a Thursday morning.
Thursday night,
We have a meeting. We can, and Steve was gonna look at whether we had to go into closed session to open bids or not, or whether to be transparent, open the bids. And then,
So it don't matter, they are what they are.
well, we can open the bids and.
Well, we won't open no bid. We won't know what a high bidder is. That's his job. He's determining what the last high bidder is.
Okay.
Right.
So he does
all
so
that.
he comes and
And
presents.
says, look, guys, I got $690,000. That's the bid.
I
That's
make a
what,
motion, we accept $690,000.
correct.
Bo's the second.
Because otherwise, if we put a minimum bid on it, say we put 660,000, and he got 645, will we have sold it? Most likely, yeah. We've been trying to sell it a long time, and we ain't gonna let 15,000 people do it.
But you don't let a lot of other people feel like they can't.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Because it was no less.
What you talking about, we open the bid on Thursday morning. Actually, if we're selling property, don't we have to have a public hearing?
Right.
Right.
So
We're gonna have a
that
public
same
hearing.
night,
We're gonna have a public hearing.
same
Already
That
night.
night?
advertised.
You gotta advertise it.
Yeah,
We
we're
are.
gonna advertise that.
And
Or-
if it doesn't sell though, we just cancel. public
That we're gonna receive, we will
Okay.
receive and accept a bid for the sale of the bowling alley on this night, followed by a public hearing for the sale of the real estate.
Another thing I said, I'm not gonna get the deed straight before then too, right? Because that's LRA.
If you resolve this.
Yeah,
Once I resolve it.
We're gonna-
All right,
Oh, yeah, I was
so
then.
what I'm gonna ask y'all Thursday night, and so that I'm gonna, in your package will be the company that we had chosen. That person will be there, tomorrow, will be there tomorrow night. If you
Next
got-
Thursday.
Next Thursday, excuse me, be there next Thursday. I think
It's late.
it's late.
And I'm the one that's lost all.
I'm taking slow pills too. So anyway, and that person will be there for it. And then so what I need for you to do for me is to say, if you agree with it, to do a motion to give me the authority to sign the contract.
Yeah.
If I sign that contract on it next Thursday, the 19th, the way I understand it, he was going to the 21st of November. Was that the date, or we talking
Yes.
about 21st of November, that Thursday, 2 months, because he's gonna do showings. He's gonna
have open houses.
He's gonna open houses,
He's
do
gonna even try to
showings.
get you or somebody up there to get one of the lanes open to let people.
He's gonna call
See how it
people
works.
who's in the bowling business.
Did you say you do that? I could figure that?
Yes.
I think somebody called you.
Well, Ryan and Winnie had somebody,
Yeah.
had him up there running.
Yeah, right.
So you can call Winnie or Ryan and get some names. If we can't figure it out.
Yeah, he's, but anyway, and so Catherine, this is our plan, so poke holes in it. The bids the bids gonna come in, start like 8 o'clock in the morning, by 2 o'clock in the evening, he's gonna close it. On the day we meet.
No, the bids are gonna start as soon as you
Soon as
sign
that,
the
I'm sorry, but
contract.
he'll close
The day
it.
you sign that
You'll close the
contract,
bid on the,
this Thursday when you
Yeah.
sign the contract,
Right.
bids gonna open, he's gonna advertise.
That's right, okay, I'm sorry, but this gonna be closed but on the 21st.
In
November. Or whatever he decides to do, right? So he'll know then what the offer is, and then I guess what I'm looking at, so can we put,
Yes.
on the 15th, she'll advertise, on the week, the advertiser say,
You gotta do 2 weeks.
2 weeks, I'm sorry,
To do it on the 7th. The week of the
the
7th
week of the 7th,
and the
the
following. week.
advertiser, we're gonna sell the property. We go in closed session to see if we can, after we have the public hearing about, we want to sell the bowling alley, the Nottoway County, not LRA, sell the bowling alley. All right, we listen to people that say we go in closed session because we got to see the cost, the price. Then we got to come back in and vote on it, and then we accept the cost or we reject it.
I don't know, maybe go to close session.
Yeah, I don't
don't know if it has to go to closed session.
well, suppose there's a number y'all can't agree on. I mean, can we go in closed session for that? Because it's selling the
You
property.
can go.
Oh,
to
if the
closed
price,
Suppose the price,
he likes it, and I don't.
you don't. That's all
Right.
that. Y'all want to sit in and argue in front of the public.
Hell yeah. We have got to sell some newspapers.
So that was the only purpose of going closed session.
But all right, now here's another thing you do with that. You can put right after that public hearing, you can put a slot in to go in closed session, come right back out.
See, what I don't want to do in
You don't
open
have to wait
session,
till the
this
end of the
the
meeting.
purpose, Ken, this is the purpose of it. Let's say we start throwing numbers out. We're throwing numbers out in the public, and then people listening go,
Can
man,
learn
I'm
all.
gonna buy that, I'm gonna buy that place, because he, you know what I'm saying?
Then they should've come
Because
to
if
the
we go away and say we reject it, they done heard what you said, you gonna take and what you're not gonna take.
Exactly.
I'm okay.
Right.
We could just
You
do an
put 'em in-
early, right after the public
Just have it on
hearing.
the agenda. And then we can all, if the man sends up and says, I got you $1.2 million, I don't need to go into closed session.
No.
Yeah.
Then we can look at each other. So if he says, I got you 540,
I don't know, we gotta make a
Bowman said
motion
we
to go
could've
into
got
closed session, so everybody loves the 1.2. We ain't going in.
if we got
I'm
540,
not making the motion.
Both parties say we do one.
Well, y'all think about this a minute. This is just a little extra since it's already late. If you get somebody to run that thing to say $700,000, they can't get the money to get it for whatever reason. They already pledged the 20,000, they lose that. So the auctioneer would go typically back to the contending bidder.
The next one, yeah.
And if he got any business sense whatsoever, he'd tell him kick rock. Because he said the man that couldn't close on it ran me to that figure. And I could have got it maybe for $100,000, $200,000 less than that. That's true. You resell it. That's what we do up here. We always try to go back to the contending bidder. And usually before you even ask them, they usually like it's right here.
Yeah, we can simplify this. Just go ahead and run the advertisement. And if we don't like what we're hearing, we ain't gotta have.
Catherine, do you wanna look at
We
that
don't
contract
have to
before you
go
sign
into closed
it?
session. But,
I would love to look at any
Because
contract
before
with
the end of the
anything
contract, he told us that he would split the deposit with us
Okay.
if the person backed out the deal that was high bidder.
I would love to, just
We
as
get
a
it,
general rule.
As
look
a
at any
general rule,
contract
yes.
before
Yeah,
any-
absolutely.
even
I'm all
signed
for
up.
that.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
You good?
No, I just signed a contract there with with the Enterprise. And with Enterprise. I mean, that legit.
All right.
I'm trying to get to some.
But that's all right.
that's gonna be a win when you,
That's,
it's only been 7 months.
7 years.
7 years.
All right, the public hearing on the real estate tax abatement program and blight.
That's just to tell you, it's in there. We got, and Catherine spoke to her real quick for this meeting, that the public hearing is in there, but you can have the public hearing for both of them.
Yep.
I mean,
Have the public hearing for both of them. Vote on the real estate tax abatement program first.
Okay,
Then right
Adopt it, blight ordinance.
yes.
okay.
Word.
Got it.
Got it.
That's
All
what-
right, on that, I did have an inquiry from Mr. Colburn about certain details. Like how's it, is it complaint based? How many service calls is it that creates a blight ordinance? And I don't believe that those details were in our,
No, those details were not in there, but they were, the state kind of already has a.
so there's some state
Yeah, the
code.
president already.
I think we started, we said we were adopting, the mayor was wrong, but we were going by complaint
It was,
basis.
yeah,
first.
that's what we were gonna do first.
All right, so if he emails me again, I'm gonna have in my board book, I'll have the blight ordinance that's going to the public hearing.
Yes.
So that I can answer any questions that he sends me.
Yeah.
See, this is what's going to the public hearing.
Mhm.
It's not approved.
Okay.
That's it. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hey,
Absolutely.
hey, good. I was talking and thinking of make something, but on the blight ordinance, I was approached again by the same guy, and he had a buddy with him, which was a different guy this time, that really wants a copy of this blight ordinance, proposed blight ordinance, before we had this public hearing.
They can get it.
Do we have that?
It'll be in a pack.
We had one a couple weeks ago.
I thought we did, and I couldn't find my copy because I was going to scan and email it to
You
him. and
just
I
call the
couldn't-
We
office
talked,
and get.
yeah, can we get,
So if it's been, if it's been in our, it's been in the meeting.
It's been-
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
full.
you send it to you right now?
You gonna send it to me? Yeah, that'd be great. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's,
So that's,
it's no secrets in that
we
thing.
got it,
You ready to go?
we got it in writing.
I'm dog time.
Just stretch it.
All right.
Thought you'd leave it on.
Yeah, all of that is
Yeah, I know.
viewable to the public, every piece of that. All right, the MOU cares donation.
All right, so we had a meeting, virtual meeting with Catherine and Gary. And so some of the things he's working on, the MOU for the CARES donation, it's on they know that's on the plate. But we haven't got that far anyway with the animal shelter, but we're getting closer. And just real quick, so you know that we own the building, electricity's on, the AC's working, we worked on the road, fixed the road up a little bit. And so my next step is set a meeting up with the architect. And I think the first meeting with the architect, I need I need to meet with maybe Mr. Ingram, since he's on the committee, just me and him and maybe Mike Gentry started, just to have a conversation of what the board's expectations are. And then bring in the CARES group, and after that.
And Burkeville, they're gonna run water now?
Yes, I talked to Mike this morning, and he said, I'm trying to find help, it's hard to find good help. That's the problem.
And I think, Steve and I have talked about this too. Mr. Boswell says, why do you need an MOU to take money? Why do you need, I think to protect the CARES people.
I think so that you don't hurt anybody's feelings later. And I hate to say feelings, but these folks have really poured their heart and soul into raising this money and to provide a nice place where they can do adoption. So anytime that you've got money changing hands, everybody needs to agree and understand that this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to do it. And that way, a year from now, when somebody spent some money on something and the CARES group said, oh, no, that wasn't what that was for. And now you're in an argument and they've still got funds.
Well, I think what Steve and I discussed was to make sure to assure them that whatever money they handed over to the county was going to the animal shelter. It wasn't going somewhere else.
Right, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
That doesn't, that never.
Yeah, and I think there's been some misunderstanding. You can tell what Mr. Boswell said to you. If what the county is, and I've told them this numerous times, what the county is going to pay for is what the state says we have to pay.
That's right. I think we're really just gonna get a little bit sticky-wicky. My personal feelings is that with the architect, so the architect says, hey, put this here for code, but they say, hey, we want this room. We gotta build from. We gotta get a building,
Right.
so it's gotta be up to code.
Right.
And then we'll be a room. Well, the architect gotta draw that up. I don't think y'all wanna pay for that.
No.
Okay.
No.
So that's where
The citizens,
that's where it's gonna get.
the citizens have been very clear that the 4.8 million was
Yeah, that's right.
outrageous. So state code, any new plans, any drawings, any engineering that's requested by the CARES group is there.
Yeah,
Funding.
I think they understand it.
But you
That's
think
the
they
money clear.
understand it, but then 6 months from now, they didn't understand.
Right.
It
needs to be done.
And see, the other thing, that the skin of the building, I call it the skin, we call it, Mike and I just call it the skin. The shit. Well, you're gonna have to, on the right side, where you're gonna put the animals and it's got a guillotine and they go inside, you gotta build something there. So you're gonna tear that whole side up. We're probably gonna have to make the building around the other side look good too. You with me what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
because it's not gonna look right. We want to look appealing too as a county. So we may pay for that, but they may want to, if they want to do something on the front for the facade to make it look more attractive, let them pay for that part. You with me?
But that's why there's an MOU.
And I was talking to, and one of the things I mentioned to him, and I mentioned to Steve also, is we need to start talking to people who can do like-kind donations.
In Canada.
In-kind,
Yes, sir.
In-kind donations. I mean, talked to him the other day. I said, well, you got a gravel business right across the road, and they may be able to help us that way.
Yeah, instead of giving $1,000 of cash, give us $1,000 of rock.
Yeah, exactly.
They can give the CARES group that.
Yeah, either way.
Yeah.
That's a-
But I mean, you got a lot of different, things that people, businesses could do
Yes.
as a donation.
And our grass is being mowed because Burkeville's going to put an old house in the dump.
And I was telling Steve, you got workforce right across, about a mile away that can keep it cut.
Right.
All right, well, let's go to the surveys for the building permit.
This was on the work session. This is.
Well, I was just gonna ask what the relative timeline was that you wanted the MOU. I don't
Wait.
know if-
Well, we're dealing with the architect. I'm gonna try to set up a meeting with the architect. I would like to get it done in October.
Cool.
In October. Because I gotta meet with the architect first, and then you can get that done. And that way the board they don't have to approve the MOU.
Well, that's why I was asking.
So the county's meeting state code in regards to providing an animal shelter. That's, Virginia says we have to do. Anything else that is requested by the CARES group is funded by the CARES.
All right, so take this for instance, like
So-
the architect.
You got Nottoway for Paul's too.
You got, the architect draws up Nottoway's 2 code building. Okay,
Now, if Karis wants to go in there and say, okay, well, right here, during this construction period, we'd like to have a door here because we're gonna do that. That overlay, that time spent with that architect is on them.
Yeah, I got you. That's why we need to meet with the architect first.
Yes,
to
yes.
Get the
Right.
rules
That's right.
around. And because he's okay with making a little money off of that.
That's
You see
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
understand.
I will also say I'm sure we all know this, for an MOU, there's really no enforcement arm.
No, it's,
That's not, we're not looking for that.
no,
Yeah.
It's just that it's in writing, it was
Yeah,
understood
okay.
if
I just wanted to
anybody
make sure
else has to.
no, we got.
And then the other piece of it was the volunteers
Yeah.
and them signing some type of waiver.
Yeah, I didn't bring it up, y'all. I forgot about that.
I remember that, I think that was discussed at the meeting.
It was discussed at the meeting.
That's right.
So,
Because somebody might bring
And-
a grandchild and they're not vetted, grandchild gets vetted, county's liable.
and the knowledge of Falls or knowledge of Cares should be carrying some liability insurance that names Nottoway County.
Additionally insured, yes.
So educate me a little bit. MOU and a MOA, a memorandum of agreement, that's the same juice? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if one had better
Same thing.
strength than the other.
They all three level with words. It's all an acronym.
I didn't pull it.
What is it?
Survey, okay,
Your
so
bill
we had talked about this at the last work session. So this is once a citizen comes in and get a bill permit. So at the top, you see the applicant is strongly encouraged to use the plat survey for this requirement. What we're finding out, and it's happening on the people who don't have surveys, they're building things in this, encroaching on other people's land. I talked to Nick this morning about a situation in Crewe, and he's going to see Phil Miskovic soon, and but because Nick goes out there and does it, he doesn't know where the property line is.
It's gonna be interesting.
Anyway, so that's, I don't know, but if you make it a requirement, if you don't say and strongly encourage, you make it a requirement, that's gonna cost a lot of money.
You can't force somebody to serve.
So that's why I thought strongly encouraged is all we can, you see what I'm saying?
That's all. And Nick's just gotta go out there and look at it and see if it looks like it's, even if you got the survey right here and you say, I wanna put this barn up or this office, and they draw their little sketch of it right here. And they even go out like I did and say, I measured over here to the property line at 400 foot and so forth and so on. If it's closer to that property line than what I said, and it doesn't meet the county code, I'm in violation of it. But if I don't have a survey right here, who's to say where the line is at?
Well, and that's what.
And you can't force somebody to have a survey.
Let's use Dickie for instance. I mean, it's sad, we talked about it, he loses his home place. But let's say he says, well, you know what, Ann, we're gonna go, might as well sell this now or something. Somebody else comes along, he don't want that house too close. He gotta be so far off his property.
Right.
So Nick don't really know that.
No, I know he don't.
No, right. He
Without a
just don't.
survey, he
The
don't.
right survey. So that's
But
where you run it.
But it's a lot of real estate trade hands a lot more years ago than now, but a lot of it still does. Because legally, even to borrow money on it, you do not have to have a survey.
Right.
You get an attorney's opinion. You can buy it on gross and bounds. You don't have to have a survey. And it's, I hate to use this word in a presidential year, but it's communist to tell them that they do.
Right. I get you. So that's just there for information. We're crossing off. I put it out. I'm walking away from that right now. Okay. That's going to start having more problems.
Okay, all right. The IDA appointment.
The idea appointments, the names is right there. You will see that in your board package. Mr. Chairman did ask me to go through each person to make sure they want to serve. And I did. I've called and contacted each person and they are serving because he had another person that was willing to serve as well. So that's the names. If I'd rather if you're gonna vote for it, you need to make sure you agree, because when people, it's hard to get people to serve, and it's also hard to get people who want to tell them all about their finance.
Right.
What is that called?
Disclosure.
Disclosure, right? A lot of people don't like to do that.
I think that's a good group right there.
I think so.
And
I'm so pleased that Helen's gonna go ahead and serve again.
Yeah. And Bill, we talked at the meeting the other day about borrowing the money for the radio system. The IDA is still important.
Still in play.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so you'll see that in there, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
All right. And the last time there was comments from the board, I'll tell you this real quick. In front of you, you got Ms. Norton had asked about the possible draft. So this is, this is for with the 2023 numbers. But if you look, it looks like about
This is the Sonny Abbott report.
this is Sunday had a report.
Yeah.
And, but anyway,
Every good government should be able to provide at the end of the year.
We still got some explaining to do.
yeah, that's right. Okay.
Explaining.
Right. So anyway, and then the last thing is, the only presentation we have on Thursday night is we're actually bringing in a bear biologist to have a 5-minute discussion, because we're getting a lot of complaints about bears in the community, and you see them and they want animal control to do something. And so
So this is gonna be Thursday night also.
this is the presentation Thursday night.
Interesting. So there's
Bear hounds.
So bear hound.
Oh, I forgot about that, right. And actually, it's Katie Martin, I think.
Yeah, Brandon's wife.
Brandon's wife. She's a bear biologist. Anyway, so
Among others.
that's the only presentation I'm having. And then the other situation.
I know this law. I knew
All
when I
right,
said
that's all I got,
it.
Mr. Chairman. You're paid.
All right, Mr. Collins, you got any comments, sir?
Just 2 comments. So I was tasked with filling District 5 planning, and then I picked up a person, so I need 1 more for planning. Anybody out there? And then I have the first commendation committee appointment that I'd like to, if you put that on the agenda, Andrea, for Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a commendation committee appointment?
Yeah, I have one. I was hoping that
Okay.
I'll wait till it rolls on down here and let you want it now.
No, we'll do it at the meeting.
I
Thursday.
haven't got
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So,
So we'll have a minute to make some appointments if anybody else wants to get a commendation committee
you're
member.
right there. I haven't.
Yeah, I know
I
someone.
think we're trying to get 2 apiece in that.
Yeah, I think we were trying to get the IDA established first, and then I know that's what a lot of y'all.
We've done that, so now we're moving on.
Here we go.
Keep things going.
Oh, yeah. All right, Mr. Engel?
I don't have anything. Just, get those people at River Street busy.
Will do. Ms. Norton?
Glad to see we're working with the sheriff's office on dispatch. We had a whole lot of calls about that. And, also, offering up again, probably putting myself in a new split anyway. Monday, the 16th, we're gonna have a town hall meeting for District 3, like we had done before. And I've asked Mr. Bowen to join me each time. I try to get somebody different. Last time it was May Payne, because he's a project person, and we're probably gonna talk about animal shelter and that kind of thing that comes up. But I promised people I would do this about every 3 or 4 months, and it's that time again, so let's see. Had a good
Okay.
outpour last time, so.
Good.
All right, Mr. Toe?
I don't have anything. I'm ready to go.
I hear you,
I
bro.
appreciate everybody's work. I appreciate Buddy's ideas on the last meeting we had and what he's working on. Steve keeping us getting us in the black for the landfill, and that ain't the only thing you're dealing with. And, appreciate everything that each and every person has done.
Yep, I feel like we stopped the bleeding, but we might be all right.
That's exactly right. And I too, I to shed a little light on what Daphne just said, I thought we had a really good productive meeting with the sheriff and his staff the other day. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, as far as I go, I mean, the county's moving forward. It's slow, like I always say, it's slow like molasses, cold molasses, but it's moving, and we got a good team in place, great staff, and
I'm already gonna laugh
because
there's
you're silly
there's
as hell.
something going on. It's something going on all the time. Y'all keep saying it's slow. I feel like the bus leaves me. and I keep-
Oh, my goodness, it's
But
how many years? How many, the short bus or the long bus?
but yeah, no, we're good. I think we're headed the right direction, and I would say this: I think we're warming the molasses.
Oh, yeah, I think.
I really do. I think it's fair to say we're warming the molasses to move a little bit quicker. So
All right, thank you, John. That's not a compliment.
yeah, but both tired and hangry.
No, I mean, I got 2 loads of beef mixed up. I got
But look, y'all know we
Catholic,
I ain't
you know
gonna
what
take
you gotta do.
And we trying to
I
do
will
this.
say I've never talked that long about a kennel tag.
You should never have to.
It was informative.
We're sorry.
No, that's what I'm here for.
But I know we normally trying to keep these work sessions
These are a
to
little,
2 hours.
these are a little longer than.
Yeah.
Because
We
we
have
try
too
to
much
make
of
these,
them. We have much of them.
Long work sessions make short meetings.
that's what we hoping for. I'm gonna hold you to it.
So, and see, we don't, since it's not the 3 hour period, that's the reason why I didn't ask for a poll at 2 hours. So it's not the 3 hour period on the meet. So, but we're good. I appreciate y'all, everybody staying the extra
All right,
time.
next Thursday will be at 30 minutes.
That's right. All in favor, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, all in favor signify by standing up.
We, hey, Andrew, get our pillows so we go to bed tomorrow. Sleep. It's something wrong. Always.
Yeah. I'm ready to get number 6 for 2 months.
Monday morning.